just wasn't the same.
They're bite sized enough to where it's not an issue. I just don't understand the statement of like, well, I don't really like the taste of peanut butter. I don't know how you eat
I
peanut
knew a
butter. I'm
girl that
like,
said she don't like honey. I knew another girl who said she doesn't like whipped cream, like Ready Whip or Cool Whip. How do you not like Ready Whip or Cool Whip? Like that's
so
delicious.
that's some weird. Yeah, that's just a weird
That's
fucking
weird
thing.
bullshit.
I know people who are allergic who fuck with this shit.
But
So I'm like, what the hell?
anyway, retro
Also, hey,
here.
Retro.
Before Robert gets in, we got to talk about this mainline Zelda game topic first.
Oh no! I saw.
How you know?
that.
Listen, how you know Robert's gonna come in, man? How you know he ain't busy with his girl, bro?
He's coming because I know he ain't gonna
No,
want to
he,
miss this.
I know he definitely is coming.
So
he is coming. He's 100% coming. But
So,
that's not what I'm talking about.
I was busy at work. I
Terrell
didn't.
grabbed that low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't shit.
I didn't
want you
see
to
the
know, I ain't
whole
shit.
back and forth. I see T got involved a little bit, and I was just like, I don't have time for this.
Oh,
But
I was just messing around. I wasn't that shit.
This is what he does. He be out here instigating and laughing.
It is.
I dropped
like a
my
fucking
comment,
villain.
and I
like a
bounced.
fuck-
I
oh,
get
did
out.
you? Like I said,
Like
I
a
didn't.
fucking-
I didn't go back and read anything.
Like a goddamn villain. He's just like.
Let's check Twitter poll results.
Oh,
See what it's
God.
at.
I just called y'all some frauds, and I bounced. That was it.
I couldn't believe it was still being like debated like an hour later. That's like, really, guys?
No.
It's fucking Link or it's Triforce Heroes. What are we arguing here? It's definitely like
Sucks.
it's definitely not like, hey, this is the next big Zelda game, guys. It's just not. You call it what you want, use the whatever wording you want. It's not.
You're
Where's your
hardliner?
66% say they're spin-offs and 33% say mainline. That's only 12 votes though. I'm gonna link it in the chat in case people want to vote on the poll. But let's see right there.
My goodness.
Anyway,
You vote on my poll. Nobody care about them games.
so T and Retro, you guys weren't here last week. You want to give your thoughts on the Tears of the Kingdom trailer?
Go ahead, Retro.
Retro didn't watch it probably.
It's everything he wanted.
I did a reaction, but you would have known that if you watched my
I
channel.
watched the reaction.
First off, it wasn't a real reaction. I knew what it was, and you just couldn't help yourself. You were like,
It was everything I wanted except underwater swimming. And
No, man, I saw it, man. That trailer, specifically that moment, the actual original Zelda theme hits, and they mix that track with the Breath of the Wild theme and shit. Like, man, and you see all these characters. Is like this trailer was just beautiful from the start, and it just kept giving more and more. You got like all these extra like new characters and locations and all this stuff, and like the showing like what I said, like one of the main things I've been wanting, and I'm not hiding from that, is like dungeons. And in my mind, I got all that confirmed. You see, like massive castles rising from the desert. Like you have all these areas, the all these caves and stuff. They dropped a trailer just earlier now today and stuff. You saw more like underground stuff with light effects and everything. And oh man, that trailer dropped all the building stuff and everything. Like I just can't wait, man. This game, like a lot of people were afraid, like what are you gonna do in this overworld and stuff, but I feel there's gonna be so much to do. Like I just can't wait. I can't wait. Just like I said, the character design specifically, I like it. How many different characters you have, like creatures and humans, and I feel this story is just gonna go like absolutely crazy. I can't wait.
oh, they show like they show the three-headed dragon. They show a dude trying to balance on a mine, like a kind of a minecart system.
Yeah.
I didn't see this earlier.
Your boy from the original game, but some of y'all frauds ain't play that, so you don't know nothing about it.
So it's called a flame Gleerock, the dragon.
Leo. Yeah, that's like the original.
Is that what it was originally called?
It's one of the original bosses.
So that looks like that's
you
not
know
a.
that if you didn't dismiss the first two Zelda games, you might know.
Well, I think this kind of
Were
goes.
those spin-offs too?
This looks like it's just you fight them out in the open, almost like an Elden Ring style. This isn't like the end of a dungeon boss fight, so it just looks like it happens while you cross the bridge, almost.
I feel like it's a story thing though.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just gonna be chilling over there at that bridge. I think
Well,
it's gonna
because
be a certain point.
it shows him approaching with in the trailer with a group, but this looks like just Link. If you look at
I mean, it could still be like a dungeon
Is it like the
related, you know,
Lionel?
that you
Is
end
it
up on the bridge, you don't
is it the
know.
new
Yeah, that could be
Lionels?
yeah. Oh yeah, the new Lionels.
Because in Elden Ring, you don't fight just the one dragon. Spoilers.
Bruh, which is funny because that's what I was doing
that's not-
Saturday. It was
not
just
really a
fighting fucking
surprise.
dragons.
They're easy now.
Like,
Oh
that's the
wow,
stuff
look
I'm-
at that. That's
yeah,
cool.
exactly. That's the stuff I'm man. It looks absolutely insane, man. This game is gonna have all these new locations and
Why do you feel
things
like they gotta
to do.
show all this shit? Stop showing shit.
I'm at the laundromat. Let me hang out my minecart. Fuck.
You know what I'm saying? Like this a commercial you put out 2 weeks after the game out. You know what I'm saying?
Only
Yeah,
you
man.
and listen. Only fans
Well,
will feel
Nintendo's not
Fans don't give a
advertising this
fuck.
game, so no one's gonna buy it.
Oh,
Right.
my
I mean,
Lord.
Jesus. Jeez. Like,
So good-
No,
good-
seriously, that's the commercial that you would see actually a year
Yeah.
after Breath of the Wild came out. That's the type of commercials you would see where people are chilling in the laundromat. Like,
Yeah.
we don't do that shit right now.
You just
The
not
hardcore
prepared,
is gonna
bruh.
sell this game. You
Wouldn't
don't
that
need
be
to do this
something?
casual ass commercials and shit, bro.
In the span of a week, they go from they didn't show anything to they show too much.
Right.
But
You can't please you motherfuckers. It's ridiculous, bruh.
We gotta make sure it ain't $70 DLC.
Y'all was sitting there talking about, hey man, y'all sound like y'all marketing Zelda, bruh. Why you showing me this fucking footage in this laundromat, bruh? I'm sick of this shit. I'm like, man, how am I supposed to win? I'm trying to please the fan base, and all I want to do is be angry at me.
I'm just trying to watch somebody's terrible video, and then this fucking video, and then this commercial pops up with new footage. Get this shit out of here.
And everyone
One
in
thing
the back like,
Retro
bro, they spool levels, bro.
One thing Retro didn't do in his reaction that I watched about at least 40 different reactions to the trailer. People I never heard of, never seen in my life. And I wouldn't say it was like maybe 20%, just rough estimate.
Oh shit.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. But I really need to finish Breath of the Wild first.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
That
happen with,
pisses
every
me
big
off
game.
to
It
know.
happens all the time.
Yeah, that's
Bayonetta-
literally every major release.
It happened with Bayonetta 3.
I'm
Remember
so
that
excited. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh yeah. Oh, there's towns in this game?
shit? What?
Bitch, get
Yeah.
the fuck out. That
What?
literally happened.
Yeah, that
Come
doesn't surprise
on.
me.
Like you didn't know there was towns?
Once it reaches the casual audience, you're gonna hear some scandalous shit.
But-
Way too many frauds, man.
It's-
Way too
They,
many
I-
frauds.
they say in their statements, Nintendo said there's going to be like new towns in the world and everything, but the towns they showed in the trailer are literally already
Tano
at Breath of the
Village,
Wild.
like
yeah.
I actually like
Frauds.
it's not that I want to see frauds,
You're
but
a
it's
fraud,
it
bro.
does make the people who you
can't
can
take
tell are genuine, it does make their reactions even better when you know like they're like, "Oh my god, they're rebuilding Castletown." Like, yeah, somebody who played the
Yeah.
game would fucking know that, not somebody who didn't play the game or barely played the game who's trying to be
What is the
excited.
Castle Town?
You know, and I'm not expecting people to like know the name of every single character. There was people even like somebody was calling they weren't calling them the champions. They're not really the champions. They are
No.
descendants.
Descendants.
Someone
I
calls
just
them
call,
something different.
I'll call them the second generation. That's what I call
Yeah.
them.
But
Champion descendant.
I said that's a slip of the tongue. You're like that's no big deal. But yeah, it's like just to see the genuine joy from some people though. It's like I got chills watching it. I get even more chills watching somebody else get chills. Like it's just crazy. It's just like
Considering the champions in the trailer, like I said, my reaction, I'm like, man, I hope they're gonna do a co-op thing, but I somehow doubt it. I feel you're either gonna have specific missions with them, or maybe you can summon them and stuff. But I found it interesting how you had Riju and you had Sidon, but you didn't have the bird. It's a different one.
It's
It's
his
like one of the
son.
kids.
mhm.
Yeah, so even though they had like a descendant, I'm curious, like story wise, like
Well, you
what
do
else
see him.
happen?
They old.
You see him? Yeah.
You
He's
see.
in
Yeah, you see him. Yeah, you see him.
T-Bon or whatever his name is. Ty-Bon.
Yeah.
You see him
Ty-Bon,
too, but then you don't see the Goron.
T-Bone.
So,
T-Bone.
Yeah,
There's
you
so-
just see his axe or whatever.
there's something though. There's a reason they didn't show you the Goron. I'm bet it's story
You
related.
think so?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
you-
just show me, blow whatever his name is, Yumblo.
Blue.
he's my least favorite for sure. But
Oh, you're so Zelda fans, you can't name these characters'
yeah,
names. Jeez.
I was just freaking.
He had to look up a Gleeok and shit. So
I just did that like a month ago. I did that Divine Beast, and I still don't remember his damn name. That's how insignificant he is to me.
Yeah, that sounds about right coming from
He's
you.
just
So
T, what did you think of the trailer? You think it stacked up to the 2017 showcase trailer?
well, nothing really can stack up to that. I mean, to me, it's very similar to Majora's Mask, where I was hyped for it, but it didn't have the exact same impact as Ocarina of Time did, and that's just gonna be the case. That's unless it's like a totally drastic art style change or something like that. I mean, it's not literally the same world. Obviously, there's some differences, a lot of differences, but it's just gonna take away from some of the hype because you kind of know what to expect. Obviously, there's a whole lot of new crazy things going on in this game, but the trailer was definitely dope. Like, it was an awesome trailer. If Breath of the Wild did not exist, I'd have been peeing my pants watching it. Like, it was really that good. But yeah, that's the only reason it's not as impactful.
I would say the thing that
Yeah,
it did surprisingly that was better than Breath of the Wild was all the story stuff hit me. With Breath of the Wild, I was just like, what is this game? What is this world? I was just so taken by it. And the music and everything. This I was just like, oh wow, we're getting a lot of story stuff. But then I went back and rewatched the 2017, and that actually had more story stuff than I remembered. So I don't know that Tears of the Kingdom is gonna have a ton more story. I feel like it's gonna have more, but if you watch the trailers back to back, they kind of have the same amount of story stuff in the trailers. Right. So I heard people saying, oh, this is gonna have so much more story, which I hope it does, because honestly, that's would elevate. Because it's a sequel, more story would actually be good, in my opinion.
A few people who always are like Breath of the Wild has no story are exactly the people who didn't know there were villages in Breath of the Wild, like.
Or they say it was open with nothing to do.
And yeah, exactly. There's
empty.
A ton of story and things to discover. But I definitely agree when you look at this trailer, it feels like everything, the world just feels more alive, and that includes the story. There's more people now, more connections you've had. So everything has more impact, and like there's all these scenes where you don't know what to do, where people are grouping up to do things. I feel like the world is like really alive in this trailer.
Yeah. But I mean,
I hate that where it's like, it's this big world with nothing to do. Tell you what, run out to the middle of the forest right now, and just run 20 miles in any direction and see how much shit you actually see. Like, what do you expect to see? I mean, it's trying to be a realistic, world. And that was the big thing about it. It's this big kind of like, well, obviously it's a fantasy world, but like it was, the world was a big part of the experience. So if you just run, for, a minute even, and you keep hitting shit, that won't feel like a real world. It feel like, oh, they just plop this shit down. But even the stuff that didn't seem that interesting at first was very interesting when you actually got up on it and like, oh, this is pretty cool. The world was really well built in Breath of the Wild, and it's, for me, I can't see past that. Like, what are they actually gonna do? Because the Sky Islands are cool, but I mean, I know there's a whole lot of shit we're missing from the Sky Islands. They're not as cool to me yet as they probably will end up being. I know that. So
we got Mr. Breath of the Wild hater in here. It's been a while, 12 feet tall, but yeah, just you have your opinion. That's fine.
6 feet under, bro.
Got it. We don't need to. We don't need to keep seeing it. So
didn't think it's a DLC.
I do.
Robert, is there such a thing as a wrong opinion? I know you're pretty strong against that idea, but sometimes someone's opinion's just wrong.
Well, I always see the facts, and it's not a DLC because it's a literal sequel.
Oh yeah, you're probably the wrong person to ask.
That's straight up. I don't care what you say. You're saying it's a DLC, but you're wrong. It's a factual sequel.
You say that about Bowser's Fury.
Well, people were saying that about because it literally was a DLC at first. Ragnarok, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people were saying that, and clearly they made it a separate game because it fucking blew up so big. It wasn't just a damn DLC. So, but this was never a DLC. So I don't
Well,
understand that comparison.
I think they said originally they were thinking of DLC when they came up with the storyline, but then they just knew right. I remember a couple years ago an interview. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing, but they knew right away that this isn't going to be for the DLC, so they switched to the Champions Ballad and realized that was too big of an idea, is what it sounded like.
I just gotta say to 12 Feet Tall, he says, I played the game, it was boring, no epic story, nothing.
Yeah, but that was probably
what? What does that even mean? Like, no offense, man.
That was probably pre-production.
That means nothing.
What you said,
what you said means nothing.
They were actually building already Ragnarok as DLC. And
they were.
It.
And just like
right, that's the difference.
They did the same thing with Uncharted Lost Legacy, and they're like,
Lost Legacy, right?
Well, it's a little bigger, but it's still not a full Uncharted, so it's $40 game.
Right.
A little more in
they
DLC.
Also did the same thing with Silk Song, which at this point is probably also going to be a second.
That's a whole new game
that comes out.
It's been
Silk Song still exists.
2019. They showed it as its own game at the Treehouse. Wasn't it 2019 or 2020? I want to say 2019.
Yeah, I don't think it was 2020. It had to be 2019.
The Treehouse, they played it on Switch. It looked like a done like game, not a dumb game, a done game. I was just reading 12 Feet's comment and I thought of dumb, but so
nice recovery, GG's.
The people who
that's your take, but this boring ass game sold 30+ million copies. Something's not, adding up. You'll get a few people that's jumping on the hype train, but when you sell that many copies of a game, I'm sorry, 12 Feet. There's just a disconnect for you in this game. Clearly, this game did a lot for a lot of people. So,
and I would say, just judging from, I was telling T, I'm watching a girl stream the game on Twitch, and she tried it back when it came out, didn't enjoy it, and she's trying to get through it again so she can play Tears of the Kingdom without everyone saying, "Why didn't you play the first game first?" And she just has no joy in her voice while she's playing. She's not laughing. She's just Divine Beast, 8 hearts. And I could see if she was like, yeah, this game, there's not much to do. I'm going to say you're literally wrong. You didn't do a lot. Doesn't mean there isn't much to do. Side quests, skipping shrines.
That's your choice.
And it's like,
but that's why the game is great, because it allows you to do that.
And you play it that way. If you didn't enjoy it, you didn't enjoy it. But don't say there isn't anything to do if you play it that way. That's
because you're just straight up. That's just a lie.
There's so much to do. And then, I guess if you just don't like exploring gaming worlds, I mean, if you don't like doing that, if you'd rather just go from a story beat to a story beat with straight line telling you where to go, if you really like linear games like that and don't like freedom, open world, I mean, that's fine. That's just you.
I like how Loki comes off as an insult. Like, you see, if you don't like freedom,
I'm just
making your own choices, fucking destiny.
If you don't like that,
your own destiny,
if you don't like puzzles, if you don't like using your brain,
it's fine. It's perfectly fine.
It's fine.
You idiot. I mean, what?
So basically, what you're saying is,
we got Muhammad coming in here separating Zeldas by cartoons. What are you talking about? What's the cartoon?
Yeah, I actually don't know what you mean by that, Muhammad.
Breath of the Wild's a cartoon.
The cartoon Zelda.
Unlike Hi-Fi Rush, which I bet is going to be his top 3 games of the year.
That.
I don't understand. I don't. Why are you separating that? I just don't. I don't get that.
Well, I'm curious what you consider cartoon Zelda and not a cartoon Zelda.
Well, Wind Waker.
He's probably adding Wind Waker.
But isn't it just Wind Waker and then by itself is Twilight
Spirit
Princess,
Tracks
probably?
and
I thought you meant the actual cartoon, though.
No,
so does that count? God. Zelda, Legend of Zelda original, Zelda 2, Link's Awakening, Link to the Past. Because they're not realistic looking games, so you have to add all those in as well. Like
the Link's Awakening remake definitely looks like a cartoon. CG.
Cartoon, so that means the original probably intended for that, so you can't include that.
We'll get into that later. I have a weird opinion.
We have a Zelda discussion apparently in this bit.
Basically,
I saw the title,
anything's a handheld. any handheld game to me in Nintendo's history, I barely consider a mainline game.
Holy
It's boring.
shit.
I spent
That-
270 hours on one playthrough in that boring ass game. That is so boring.
Hey, I
bro.
mean, if he thinks it's boring, he thinks it's boring. But don't say there's nothing to do because that's just factually
Yeah, I mean
wrong.
that's an opinion. You can have that opinion, but
Spent like
yeah,
100 hours
facts
just
are the
trying
facts.
to attach like the balloons
This is
to
like the
the
weird. I feel like this is like the weirdest like version
Actually,
of
hold on. How
like
many hours
your
did you put
opinion's
in?
wrong, but I'll
No.
You're
your opinion.
fucking
If your
lying.
opinion is boring, that's a fair opinion. You can
Yeah,
have that.
but if
opinion.
you say there's
a lot
nothing
of
to
people
do,
just don't like open world games. Like they find them all boring. So I
Right.
understand. I can take that opinion. But when you say there's nothing to do, that is a lie. That's just that's just
Yeah.
factually wrong.
you might not
Wait, I'm
like what
curious,
there
I'm
is to
curious,
do.
How much hours did you have retro in Breath of the Wild? Do you remember?
I want to say 200 something. I could check,
Okay.
but I think it's over 200.
I
I'm
feel
not
like this
sure.
game you get hit even more, to be honest with you, just with
Oh,
the
I'm
build.
pretty sure there's going to be way more in this, man. I'll be looking at the clouds all day long.
I had
one cloud an hour.
I was
Oh
playing.
my
I put
God.
about 5 hours, just maybe a little bit more than that, just since the last podcast. I'm trying to get all the gear leveled up, and I'm down to needing topaz, which are I think 260 rupees each if you sell them. I need like 50 something of them, and the only place you can get them is the rare ore deposits, and you're not even guaranteed every time you hit one to get a topaz. In like an hour, what the hell is that?
Sorry.
I don't know.
In like an hour, I got like 6 or 7, and I need 50 more. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this.
Damn.
So, I wish I hadn't sold all those because now I have so many rupees. It's ridiculous. But early on, I'd sell all my gems trying to get money to,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah, my bad. We have walkie talkies in my house because we don't like to yell and shit. And then so we're picking up
Dude,
like all
this
kinds of shit.
castle is so big and shit. He's like,
Well, you know, I live in a castle.
Picking
on
up
a
the
hill.
guy.
Yeah,
Here
so we picking up like truckers and all kinds
Yeah.
of shit.
Oh, yeah.
That shit is hilarious, bro. Oh man.
He's got a convoy. Yeah, we got ourselves a convoy.
Oh my God.
Got a bears in the air. But
I don't want to turn it off because the shit's so interesting.
So yeah, it's just to me, it's like, it's sad. It's not very fun, even though I was fascinated watching her play and what I considered. We had a debate. So like missing basically the point of the game, the world. It's just like, it just wasn't. It's just I could see why she wasn't enjoying it, the way she was playing, and it's heartbreaking for me to see it played that way and not enjoyed. And then I watch Gab Smulders, who's like, she's episode 15 or something. She's done a lot of playthroughs so far, and she is like looking on the map, looking for interesting things on the map and marking them with markers, and I got to go to the top of this mountain, and like trying to find the memories and use the map. She found the freaking horse statue where the memory is just by looking at the map closely, and found it. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, that's what I did. I just, so it was cool. It's cool seeing that. And
I don't know what's worse. Like, because I click over and Nintendo Life, they're streaming Ocarina of Time.
First time,
the new guy for the first time. I'm like, it's Nintendo frauds everywhere. Huh? How the hell?
Well, to be fair though, he's like
He's young.
young.
Yeah,
1 years younger
my
than me.
son beat Ocarina of Time when he was 7 years old. I don't want to hear that shit about.
No,
him
but to be
being
fair,
young.
I just beat it. I just beat it. Remember, like last year.
Yeah, but
So
you don't
to-
work for a Nintendo website, do you? Come on, man.
How do you got
Yeah.
Robert? How do you feel? I know we had this with other sequels. People, I'm so excited to watch this trailer, and then during the trailer, they're like, "I still got to beat Breath of the Wild. I still got to finish Breath of the Wild."
No, I get it. I mean, look, I think it depends on how they're treating that hype. If it's like, oh my god, I can't, I'm dying for it, and then you like,
oh my god,
you
I'm so
still-
excited. I'm nervous. I'm so excited. Then there's towns in this game. Like, I turned that one off immediately after that. It's like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you.
200, Robert. I mean, 260 hours, and I only just kind of started the second quest, so that's basically all my first playthrough.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say
Mine's-
started what? What are you about to say? What are you about to say?
I just started the first Divine Beast. So I had three.
I'm still looking over where you say Skyrim. You still haven't finished the first quest. Makes no sense.
I had 300 hours. I did the regular game to 120 shrines, master mode 120 shrines, both DLCs fully finished with the motorcycle on hard or master mode and regular, and that was about 300. And then on
So I never did hard. I never went into the hard modes or whatever. But
I don't like the regenerating health, to be honest. It's kind of annoying. Just give them slightly bigger health bars, because the Lionels, like, it's, if you don't hit them for like 5 seconds, they do run around and shoot arrows like 5-6 seconds, their health just goes all the way back up, and they're gold, so they're like even harder. I was like, that was a little too far for me, but I think I put about 100 hours on PC on the emulated version.
Yeah.
So I'm up there. I don't.
You didn't stream it, did you? To watch out the Nintendo.
I don't expect to have that
in
much.
prison?
In Tears of the Kingdom, for the reasons T was talking about. It's like, even if Tears of the Kingdom makes it like going back to Breath of the Wild, you're like, man, I miss this mechanic. I miss this. If it makes Breath of the Wild seem somewhat lesser in ways, I still don't know I still don't expect to put that much time in as I did in the first game. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
I think there's gonna be more than the Breath of the Wild in terms of time.
That building shit, man.
The building shit alone is like
so
whoa.
much fucking time on that, like building the most dumb shit.
well,
possible.
someone pointed
Imagine
out
riding a
Link
You
on
have to
his
be-
belt.
To me, you have to be into that. I guess is my thing, though. That's not
That's
not
true.
that's not
true.
a fit everybody. That's like a certain people. Like,
Yeah, there's people who don't
but
want to
you gotta
make Mario
remember,
levels.
Minecraft sold 200 million or whatever.
yeah,
There's a lot of people.
but here's the difference. You also enjoy Minecraft, don't you, Robert?
Yeah, and 200 million people do it. Like what
No,
I'm
no,
saying
no,
is like
I'm
it's
not.
a
No,
very
no,
big
I'm not.
market.
I'm not saying people won't
That
enjoy it. I'm
Animal
saying-
Crossing 40 million. You know, what
I
I'm saying?
was
It's a
more
big
making-
market
I
of crafting.
I was more making.
great.
To be fair, I was making more of a comparison between you and Juice. Juice, I don't think really cares about that stuff as much.
I'd say
in this
over
game-
Robert, I'd probably would do it more than Robert.
I think
Yeah,
it depends on the flexibility.
That's why I'm surprised you.
I think
you
Robert
get
would be
into-
Robert and Terrell.
I
I'd say would be the least likely to build stuff. That's just when I saw it, I was like, yeah, Robert likes to, like, if something's pre-built, he's gonna use that. If the developers built something for you, that's what he's gonna use.
It depends on how.
I think it's going to be very limited.
I think it depends on how you're able to build it. Like
I'm going to say
is
like
it
8 to
annoying
10
find-
things you can put together. Because Link on his
You think it's gonna
belt,
be that limited?
on his belt, if you look, someone pointed out, I forget who it was in the comments of the last podcast. He has like this, looks like these little small glass tubes, and there's like 6 or 8 of them, and they have that same color stuff in there as and then I watched.
Okay.
So I don't think, maybe you can upgrade it, but I would be surprised if it gets like above 10.
Maybe that's what I said though, that you can have the presets, like 8 presets of something built, not necessarily how much.
But I don't know if you're going to be able to put like 10 fans onto 3 logs. I think it might be more limited than that. But maybe if you put
that would
3,
be unfortunate.
maybe
but
all the fans will
I
count
really
as one.
I truly want to build a house.
I want to
What I
build
wanna
a
do.
flying
I want to build a
castle,
house
man.
and
Yeah.
that moves.
I think
That moves and it's in the air and it's
I
like
think
up.
you're going to be disappointed if that's your expectation. But
Really?
if I'm wrong, I'd be glad too. So
I
Well,
imagine
keep those
imagine if you
expectations.
build it so big where you could get the camera inside it,
no.
and so you could just build a house
No.
and then you could like float. That would be amazing.
But
That would be amazing.
when's it come? How many weeks is it? Or how many days is it now?
It's May. Well, I don't know how many days, but it's May 12th.
3 weeks.
So
May
18, 3 days, or 18 days, 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
That's.
Yep.
I got mine pre-ordered.
Is that? I mean, it's
I'm-
really. It's not
unfortunately-
even 3 weeks. It's like. Yeah, it's like.
I forgot. I
almost
got to
like-
do my
it's like
voucher.
2.5.
Unfortunately for me, my mind is completely elsewhere because of Nintendo Shadow dropping shit for no good damn reason.
What'd they drop?
That Xenoblade trailer, that shit comes
Oh.
out tomorrow.
That's
The
why they
DLC
do that?
comes-
Why they do that?
That's
made me
right,
so
that's like
fucking
tomorrow
mad,
or
bruh.
whatever, right? That's
Do
crazy.
you feel like it's
The
gonna
D-
be as much as the Torna as long as length.
I've heard comments that it's gonna be around that. So that's about 30 to 40 hours depending on how you play it. So as
You
long as
gotta
it,
really stretch that out, but to be honest with you.
I ain't gonna
it,
lie.
it all depends if they do that stupid ass
Community, but even the community,
yeah,
like again, I
community.
finished it
Go ahead.
in about, I think it was 17, 18 hours with
but you
doing
blew
a
through
lot of the community bullshit.
Well, you have to. That's the problem with the community shit. You have to do that.
I know
shit.
that's.
So,
and I saw they have community in there.
I hope that's not.
I just gotta say, like, I think I really enjoyed 3, but when I went back to try to like grind some and kind of do some extra stuff, I felt I was kind of got my fill of that game. So I was honestly surprised watching that trailer how little I cared. I actually didn't even finish I watched about half of it and turned it off. It didn't hit me at all. Maybe it was just maybe I need to rewatch it. I had
Your head stuck in Hyrule right now.
I had zero, like I was zero invested in this adult Rex or Shulk. I just don't. Just nothing was working for me. So
I mean, hey, look, everybody has their thing. I'm just mad because Nintendo thinks this shit's funny to keep putting all this content out back to back. And it's
How much
starting
is
to make
it?
me angry.
They could have waited. I feel like.
That's
Well,
like
they could.
E3
Well, think
level
about
shit.
well, think about it. Fucking Advance Wars just came out Friday.
yeah, it makes no sense.
And then Tuesday, and then tomorrow is the DLC for Xenoblade. And then what? Less than 3 weeks at that point.
2 weeks again. 2 weeks.
And
later,
they don't have
it's-
anything announced
it's-
past July.
It's for sure. Why they got to do this honey bunches of oat shit? Where they got to bunch everything.
Honey bunches of oat shit. Can we trademark that, my boy? Like,
Nintendo bunches of oats. Where they got to put everything
like-
together.
I don't
they
get
just
that.
start- Yeah, they just started slamming content together, and I'm like, guys,
We had a whole summer you could spread this shit out in.
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah, because like people keep acting like this shit's normal. It's
Well, because
not.
Pikmin comes out in what, July?
Yeah, Pikmin's July.
Then come out in June.
And they have announced
Maybe-
nothing after Pikmin, so they must
No,
either
they
have
haven't.
this loaded slate where they had to get this out now, or they're
I-
just like, it's done, put it out. Like people have the game.
Yeah,
put it out.
people don't realize that it seems like this year has been weirdly front loaded of content with,
I'm
from
expecting
Nintendo.
to be some shit at the end of the year. Because if you're gonna do this at this late in the game for the Switch, you gotta have. I mean, you can't. I'm not gonna let you get away with squishing all this shit out and then not
Yeah,
having
like
anything
if,
for the rest of the
ironically
year.
enough, if the latter half isn't loaded, I'm gonna be very questioning of
Yeah,
like,
it's kinda like, what
like
the
why'd
hell
you do that?
why'd you throw all this shit in before we even hit like August? Like, 'cause this is dumb. And
Mhm.
June doesn't have a game in it, I think, at all. Now I
That's why the
understand.
DLC would be perfect for June.
That's
Yeah,
what I
that
would have
would've been
done. I would have just put it in June. I'm like, guys, you didn't have to fucking push this out the door. You just did all this shit with Advance Wars taking over a year to get it out. Why would you at least give it a full week with no other new releases before
Right.
fucking throwing something else right on top
Like
of
you
it?
had to
I'm
be
like,
all of a sudden you in a hurry to put this fucking game out. Like
yeah, like, what the
Did
fuck?
anybody
no
pick it
sense.
up?
What?
Advance
Advance Wars?
Wars?
I haven't.
Gotten it yet.
It's coming late for me, but I
will
already
get
bought
it.
it.
Yeah.
It's Amazon was like.
But when am I gonna
hey,
play it?
People seem to like say it's great.
Playing it right now?
Says the gameplay's still great. I did see multiple reviewers say they wish
I
they
mean-
would have used that cartoon anime style for the actual in-game, but that's the only like even close to a negative I've heard about it. Seems to be
Yeah.
really solid.
But I already, yeah. It's
Yeah, I mean
coming.
the original games.
The problem is I've missed so much. I feel like I haven't gotten anything.
I barely
accomplished
touched.
yet.
I feel like I barely played anything this year, which I haven't.
See, that's the problem with it for me. Advance Wars is like,
Mhm.
well, I already beat both of them bitches already. Yeah, it looks better on the Switch shit. Do I really need to rush out and get the game? No. So that's
But if they
that's
were
my
new
issue.
games, you probably would have.
They were new. Yeah, if they were like 3 and 4 or something.
Yeah. I guess
I,
my issue
there is
my
a
issue with everything else going
Yeah.
on. Like I'm still in the middle of RE4, fucking Elden Ring. I still haven't even finished Fire Emblem, and I keep forgetting I'm in the middle of that shit. I'm like,
I haven't even finished Xenoblade yet. What the-
yeah,
That's
I'm
a
like,
lot of RPG stuff.
hmm
dude, that's what's hurting me. If I had RE, will probably get finished first because it's a shorter game. But like everything else, I'm like, god damn, it's
See,
like 40, 50
Retro-
hours, 60 hours.
T and Retro, I gotta ask. It's been like 15, 20 years since I played Resident Evil 4. I don't remember. Like in this version, there is just tons of horde mode sections where you just have to fend off enemies. I remember a couple, but it's like every chapter you have
It's
these
been a lot. It has been a
sections
lot.
where you just have to. I constantly have to restart because I waste bullets or I messed up, die, and then you just redo the section over. And it's just like there's just dude, like enemies constantly coming, and
It's
I
not
don't
that much in the original.
What chapter are you on?
like 9.
Okay, yeah, you're ahead of me. I'm at
Like
I
I've
think
watched some gameplay of people, and I've seen specific scenes that I can't remember from the original
I
game.
mean,
Like
it's
somebody's like stuck in a house at some point. I feel that keeps getting like waves of zombie. I don't
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that shit from the original game.
This game loves to mob the shit out of
it's
you. That's why
yeah,
I was
it's
like,
pretty
Yeah.
much the
I'm like,
main gameplay
I was
loop
trying
at this point.
I was trying to figure out like, is that normal? Because it feels like Juice was saying, every fucking stage. I'm like the section where I forget the dude's name, the guy you meet when you have Ashley and you're running into the cabin, and I didn't realize that was a fucking like horde section where you were just gonna have to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing all this extra shit in the background. Someone in the chat was like, "You should have conserved your bullets." I'm like, "For what?" And then immediately I'm like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
why would you throw this at the end of the goddamn chapter? You fucking crazy people." Then like the next chapter,
Just start
towards the end of
over.
that, another goddamn horde. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I don't
Really?
remember that in the
Yeah,
original
that's
game because
good.
that was one of the things I loved about it was that the pacing was really well. Really
I mean,
well.
I'm
You know
enjoying it. I just don't remember it being like that.
You know what? If it was the biggest issue I have with it has nothing to do with RE4 specifically. It has something to do with a feature that should have been included and that irks me. Give me Jill's dodge.
Well, you
This
can
game-
dodge certain heavy attacks with the circle.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's not the same as
no.
like Jill's dodge was something I could get behind 100%. And in this game, you're constantly getting mobbed. I'm like, if
Mhm.
you don't give me a dodge anywhere, this is the fucking game. Because I'm sitting here
Did you-
firing at one dude. Here comes a fucking these axe throwers are fucking like
I only got
perfect
hit
fucking
like
aim.
once by an axe, to be honest.
Dude, they're just I'm like shit. Damn.
Did
cut
you
me
get
a
to the
break.
dual chainsaw ladies boss fight?
Yeah, that's considered a boss.
Yeah.
Isn't that you talking about when they come through the door and I didn't consider that a boss. I mean it's still
You never see him again. I mean, I don't know what you'd call it, mini boss, I guess.
I guess mini bosses look
I
close
consider that a
because you
boss
do
fight.
yeah. I don't consider boss because you do a boss like right after it. The fucking the
Then I
not
guess
mixed-
mini boss, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
but
I view
still.
them as. And yeah, I died on them like 4 times because the fucking
Dude,
I didn't realize the chainsaw was the one hit kill immediately. I mean,
But,
granted, it's a chainsaw. To be fair, that's on me. But like,
I learned
Shit.
to just keep moving and found some red. I don't know if that one had red barrels, but yeah.
I'll say this game is probably more balanced than like I would say.
I will
RE2
say
or-
reading
or
Donnie's
3 was.
I hate Ada's new voice actor. She's terrible.
A
I don't know
lot of
anything
people
about the
say-
controversy, but it's they
No,
changed.
the controversy was people getting telling her voice acting was bad, and her getting angry, thinking it was like, well, this is my portrayal of a strong, confident Ada.
Oh
not,
man.
and
It's just not the right. It just doesn't
not
fit
an-
the tone. It's
She was
not-
like, she's on social media talking about not a Asian stereotype, and I was just like,
just
Ada's whole thing in the game so far has been this strong female. Like I don't
she
understand. what
is
the
already.
statement
Yeah,
is.
she's already a strong. She screws Leon over multiple times and 2.
Yeah, like what do you? I'm like, what,
Why did they
this is
recast her though? Because just I don't like when they
Uh,
recast her anyway.
Here's the thing. Like I don't know this chick's work or anything like that, so I can't speak on that. But
Right.
wasn't somebody in the booth with her? Like, wasn't a Capcom person in there and being like, "Yeah, this like," he had to be saying, "Yeah, this is good. This is good."
They
Well, you
probably
know
just
that
were like,
shit was
"Shit, we already
not-
hired her."
You better been
Let's just-
fucking lying.
Because it's
Jesus
just
Christ.
I had no idea. I didn't
But
know
that's one of the
anything.
easiest things. If it's that bad, and I haven't really paid attention, I don't really know. I just
I've
hear
wa-
about it. But if it's that bad, that's one of the easiest things you can do is replace a voice actor. That's
She's not in the
something you
game
can
very
easily
much
do.
either, so it's like
Right. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
like,
saying.
when
And her part is not that
she looks
big,
good
so-
though. They did.
Yeah, when
they
I
did
first
good with the
when
the
I first
model.
run across when I first got to the first cutscene where I heard her voice, I was like, "Ooh, that don't sound right." And people were like, "Yeah, that's everyone's reaction to her voice immediately." I was like, "It's that first cutscene where she's talking. She's not even talking to Leon. She's talking to the guy." And I'm like, "Who the fuck is that?" And then I saw her come on, like, "Oh, that's Ada. What the fuck is that with her voice? What the hell is that?" And people were like, "Yeah, she."
just the fact that they changed voice actors is
Yes.
enough to make it
Like,
stand
how
out.
would you get? Like, I heard that she was getting, some racial.
Oh, she got a lot of.
And it
like-
sucks that people are
but
get
but I'm
like
like-
attacking her for it.
Well,
Wong
it wasn't even attacking her.
It
It
wasn't
was
like Ada
just,
Wong wasn't Chinese before. Like I don't understand why she's getting
there.
like
She
bigoted.
her argument kept saying that she wasn't trying to be like this super spy
Why didn't she just
stereotype,
do what
this
she
Asian
was?
super spy stereotype, and I was like, that's a fucking
But
stereotype.
like, welcome to the internet. You're not gonna win that argument.
Just
Be
try
like,
to
hey,
It also wasn't
emulate
good.
what the other
I
actor
was
did. Try to
Or just
how
do a
it
good
was directed. I
performance.
did the best I could. I'm sorry that you guys didn't like it. Move on. Like, don't try to sit there and fight with the internet. You're going to lose
stupid.
every time.
Especially when you're wrong.
But it's
That's
like,
really
Especially when you're wrong, right?
what other things were where they replace voice actors or actors? You know, you try to keep the essence of the character. You don't just
Mm-hmm.
you
Well,
know.
yeah, because the character doesn't change, even if the voice does.
Here's the thing, like, there's other things that are changed in this game that annoy people and shit. Like, what's his name? The Spanish dude.
I can't
I
think of
forget
his
his
damn name
name.
either.
Yeah,
Can't
see,
think of his name right
I'm
now.
not friend. I've seen him a couple
Just fucking
times.
playing
long.
it.
But like his character, they tone him down. They do different things to him. Like, that's going to happen. But
I like his take. I like what he did,
But
but
My
his
question
right,
was
right.
he seems way more prevalent than
they didn't just have him
than
in
I heard he
like
was.
the last like game with Leon. Like they didn't. You just didn't have a few years ago have a new version of him. I mean, it's been 20 years since somebody's played this character versus Ada, who just I don't think she was in 3 at all, but she was in 2, which was like 2019.
No, she's not in 3.
So it's like just try to keep some continuity to it. I mean, by the few times now I've seen her, I've gotten more used to it. But at first, I was like, "Dang, this isn't
Yeah,
the
my
same."
my first impression was pretty bad. I was like, Jesus, this is. I didn't
And
even
she's
know who
not.
it was.
She doesn't seem like the most skilled voice actor. I don't know what she was going for, but
Well, as she said, she was doing a strong Asian woman, is what
that
the way
makes no
she
sense.
phrased it.
That's
And I
not.
was like,
That's
and I'm
not
like,
a
what the
voice
fuck
trait.
does that mean?
That's not a trait
Yeah,
of someone's voice.
I don't understand what that statement means because Ada was already a strong Asian woman. Like, I don't.
Right.
What
She's
did
already
you
a
think was wrong with
badass.
the
She
original?
was already a badass.
She already had
so-
Leon wrapped around her finger.
It's
What
one of the
else do
few
you need?
women you couldn't really fuck up. Like, I don't understand how you managed to make her less important. Like the
Like,
fuck.
Is the '80s cheese still in the game? Like, I think
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
that's
He does. Yeah,
He goes-
he's,
What did
Okay,
Leon
so-
say? Ashley goes, "You're just jumping onto chandeliers. Like, who does that?" And he's like, "What are you, my mom?"
yeah, okay, yeah, you got because I haven't got.
Because that's what I was gonna say. Like, maybe if they changed some of the tone, she was maybe thinking, something else.
No, no.
I'll watch because there's certain movies like Dungeons and Dragons, the original Dungeons and Dragon movie, where there's actors in it that are in completely different movies.
Yeah.
Like Marlon Wayans is in a different movie than say the lead character, and what's his name? Jeremy Irons is in a completely different movie than everybody else. So I wonder if it's something like that where she didn't really understand the tone, what was going on. But again, there is like Donnie Art said, there is a what do you call it? Voice director. He should have been, saying, "Hey, this is the kind of feel we're going for." So that to me, that her voice wasn't great, but the voice director has to take some of that responsibility too.
Oh, no, that's
the
fair.
person telling you, what the
Because
tone
everybody
is.
else seems to be. I mean,
Right.
did a
Yeah,
pretty
it's
good
just
job.
weird. How are you the one girl who didn't get it and everybody else got
Right.
it? Like it just seems like I don't know. It just seemed like a bad choice, and then she just didn't
Yeah.
like the
It seemed
backlash
like a
she
bad
got
choice,
for it.
and the voice director should have known it was a bad choice, and he should have been like, "Hey, like I don't want to put it all on her. It's clearly it's her fault, but they hired her. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones who hired her. They're the ones that let that get into the final game.
Oh yeah, of course.
So,
Like I just don't like her trying to overly.
No,
defend her,
I'm not
like-
taking anything from that. I said that was a stupid thing to do, is to try to, justify.
I'm a
Yeah.
strong female.
You're gonna win
That's
it either way, even if you're telling the truth, which you're not. You're not gonna win that. So
Yeah,
just leave it alone.
I'm like, this is not the word you want to go for. And
No,
she was like, fuck it, I'm dying on this hill. I'm like, all right,
so.
you're dead.
I also figured out why the game looks so blurry. There's a setting in the options. What's it called? It was set to on, and you turn it off. Chromatic
Chromatic aberration.
aberration.
I
and-
hate that.
And I don't know what it does, but apparently just started to type the setting because I saw the setting. I was trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and there's already a bunch of posts. Turn this off. Turn this off.
Mhm.
And plus, it got nighttime, and I got indoors, and there's some like stunning shit inside.
I turn that off for every game. That's like one of the first thing I actually
What
do.
are you saying? You see my email?
What?
You see my email?
Comcast? What are you talking
Where do you
about?
see
Wait,
that?
what? Wait, what? Hold on. Let me go see. Let me go check.
What he's
Oh, you didn't get spam like
It's
a
not
bitch.
on. It's not on OBS.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't see anything.
And anyway, if you do, I mean, who uses their Comcast email anyway? No one.
I use it for certain things.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't
mine.
see anything. I don't see anything. on the screen.
Nothing that I need in like. If I
Right,
need
nothing.
immediate, then I use Gmail on my phone. But
But yeah, I
so
don't
send
see
me an
anything
email,
on the-
dude. Oh no, you
Oh,
saw my
wait.
email.
Hit me up.
I saw the. Well, I don't know. I don't see anything inherent unless it was something that just popped up for a second.
Thanks
But,
for pointing it out, Danny. Or else now everybody's gonna go check the screen.
it was open. I was looking at an email earlier on the other. When you
hover the
Oh, we
tab.
hover over a tab. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not like it popped up like huge.
I think he said it.
Well, here's the
and
thing.
turned in-
It doesn't matter now.
doesn't
'cause
either.
Everybody gonna be able to go back
Yeah.
and look at that shit.
Who cares? Send me an email. Oh no.
Send me an email.
Oh,
Hey,
send me
just
an
look at my
email.
balls.
Send me an email. Oh
So,
no, that shit's hilarious, bro.
Are you challenging the internet? Is that what you're doing?
Buddy, relax.
There's,
Don't do that.
but yeah, I think other than that, we might as well talk about some Zelda timeline stuff.
Oh,
'Cause can't
no.
wait. Can't wait.
Oh my god.
So I mentioned it earlier. I have for the longest time until basically the Switch, some of the 3DS. I just never really viewed like Nintendo's handheld games as like obviously they're making them for a different audience. They're usually shorter, they're usually levels are shorter in Mario games, you know, they're not trying to make a home console game on the go, you know, but that doesn't mean there's not really awesome entries. But I've just always viewed like the handheld Zeldas, for me personally, I just like never thought of them as like the main Zelda games. Like I always figured they were like to fill in some more side stories than others. They can like Link Between Worlds was probably the first one where I was like, all right, this feels like this is a sequel to Link to the Past. You know, this feels like a full Zelda game to me. So that's just how I've always kind of felt about it. And I know like there's official it's canon and stuff Nintendo said about Triforce Heroes and stuff. Like that's just
Nobody
for me.
cares.
That's just how it was. Four
Hold on
Swords.
to your heart, Robert.
Four
man.
Swords
This
Adventure.
thing
Never played
wasn't
Four
mine.
Swords. Never need to. Like I
I
could care
I
less.
didn't play for long.
You know, they want to count it as a mainline, they can, but for me, I never did, and I never will. So that's my take.
Damn.
You can't force me to do 4-player co-op in a Zelda game. Fuck out of here.
Triforce Heroes. I don't care if it supposedly followed the story after Link Between Worlds. I don't care. It's a side game for me.
Hey, so does Spirit Tracks and it's Phantom Hourglass. Those are sequels to
One's a sequel to Wind Waker. I don't know
Wind
about
Wind
Spirit
Waker.
Tracks.
Spirit Tracks isn't but Phantom Hourglass is.
Yeah, actually, Spirit Tracks also in the beginning of the game states it's a direct sequel to Phantom Hourglass and stuff. Like
Okay,
it's
so there
literally
you go.
stated at
It's
the
a
beginning,
sequel
yeah.
to a sequel. So there you go.
So Retro, you
Look at
had a
the
poll.
timeline, son.
How do you feel about Triforce Heroes and Four Swords Retro?
Look, man, because there was on Twitter like the main lines Zelda stuff. And they had this list, and people saying, "Oh, but you don't list Hyrule Warriors." And the person goes like, "Yeah, because I'm not listing spin-offs," and I'm like, "But you're listing Triforce Heroes and Four Swords. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care what the games are called. I don't care, like you said, what story they follow. Like, Triforce Heroes is an online co-op puzzle game. And on the box set, it is 32 puzzle levels. Like, it's not a fucking mainline Zelda game. That is just not what it's going to be. And you might say,
Facts.
but Nintendo says so. But when I say yeah, but Ainuma also said that the timeline was a mistake. Then all of a sudden it doesn't count. Like you know,
Oh my god.
Whoa, what the hell was that?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, the
Sound-
sound thing. I don't think I know about
sounds
this.
clips. Oh no, he's gonna go
Yeah,
crazy.
they
now.
added the
No.
sound
Bro, we
thing.
should have had that for the Game Awards.
It just
Damn.
came out.
Well, you gotta
It
blame Discord
It
for
was
that.
too
one,
late.
man.
Yeah, Discord's falling now.
Okay, well, it said we got like 7 months. So
And no, Lenny,
got
I don't
7
count the
months.
Capcom Oracle season games. I don't count. I didn't never counted.
well, how you feel about that retro? Hold on. I don't think
I-
retro
I-
was
I-
all
I
that.
wanna
I disagree with that.
differentiate-
I disagree with that.
I do
but go ahead.
differentiate. Do want to say that to me, the mainline games, you got Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. We use Link's Awakening, the Oracle games like Minish Cap. Those all count as mainline games.
I
Like
agree.
when you have the main like, because like Robert and I like went back and forth, and like the formula for me, the formula is just you link, you're in the world, you're exploring things, you uncover stories. Like that's what Zelda is. All the handheld games follow that. I even disagree that some of the dungeons are short. Like Link's Awakening has some ass fucking dungeons.
Oh yeah, that
man.
was the
Yeah.
one I said felt. But like Link's Awakening, you say Link's Awakening or Link Between Worlds?
Link's Awakening.
Link's
has
Awakening is
that.
still a pretty short game in comparison.
Yeah.
But it has ass fucking dungeons, man. Like that are pretty. That like starting the
yeah.
third, fourth dungeon, they get really fucking long. Like, you
But
got
it is a
fucking-
handheld game. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the levels are going to be shorter and stuff because they're catering to that handheld experience. So you're not going to have a 25-hour Zelda game on a handheld. Well,
How
now
long
you
was
do
it Link
because of
Between
Switch.
Worlds? Let me see, let me
Link
look
Between
up
Worlds.
Let me look up the
I'm gonna
average.
say in the
14,
mid
15?
15,
That
16.
game was fucking
Yeah.
gorgeous, man. Link Between Worlds. That was so fucking good.
Yeah, it says main story average out 16.
Yeah.
Link to the Past, honestly, if you knew
Yeah,
what
they
you're
did
doing, you
15
could probably get to that pretty quick. But if you're playing it for the first time,
Well, on average it says 15 for Link to
for,
the Past.
for Link to the Past.
Link to the Past, people speedrun it like ridiculously fast. You don't remember
Well,
that
yeah, I
because
mean,
again,
exactly, yeah.
it's like Breath of the Wild. When you get lost in the world, there are things to do, there are side quests. But yeah, if you want to go
Yeah.
straight to the finish and say there's nothing to do in Link to the Past, then you can do that. Again,
except you're
like
gonna
you
get
said,
stuck
you're
because you gotta
wrong,
have the
but you
damn
can do
magic.
that.
Right.
You have to have found that magic
You will get
medallion
stuck.
to even progress in Death Mountain in the Dark World.
Yep.
You
I think
have
there's like 2 or 3 specific items you require because that's in speedruns that people always like go for and stuff. But apart from that, you don't need much else.
and
in
that
the
one
game.
medallion is just like in the middle of the waterfall. There's like a dot, like a shadow in the water, and you just like pick
Yeah.
up an item, and there it is. Easily miss it, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Like
count Oracle. I count the Oracle games.
I never
count-
played them, so I
Which
can't
cat?
judge them on what they are, what they aren't. But
I mean, they feel like They
when I
feel
played,
mainline Zelda games.
Phantom Hourglass, I was not like, oh my god, this was definitely this was a mainline Zelda game. To me, it just felt like a little side side.
Well, I think the thing that
story.
hurts it, because I'm kind of iffy on it. I think that the problem is it's a fucking touchscreen game. You're sitting there using the gimmick. To me, takes away from the mainline feel of it.
And then like the bot, it's just like a dungeon. Like you get further each time, the same one, because you're, what is it? Something drains, and then the bigger you build it up, then you can go further and further. And
Yeah.
And I mean, it is what it is. Nintendo counts it. That's fine. But for me, but especially
retro doesn't take.
I
that
think
into account.
Triforce Heroes and Four Swords, like there's nothing anyone could even say. I don't care if Miyamoto said it. That tells me that
Again,
that's a
that
mainline
doesn't
game.
those are gimmicky ass Zelda games. Like that's, to me, that's what takes it a little away from the whole. Oh, is it a mainline game? Because they're even more gimmicky, I would say, than like Phantom Hourglass is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, if you listen to them, they're
Because
gonna tell
yeah,
you, "Oh
four
my
Game
God, this
Boys
is
and four- I mean,
play
come
this
on.
new
It's-
Zelda game." They're always selling.
Yeah, but no. But
They can't just
they
tell-
could- they could
Hourglass,
they
even-
could have easily called it Triforce Heroes, something like Hyrule Warriors.
See, the
like,
Legend of Zelda
like-
doesn't.
because even
factor into
Phantom
me.
Hourglass, like
yeah,
I'm
but
probably
why
the
not?
only
In that case, they should have called it, especially on the dying Wii U. They could have
'Cause they
called
want
it
you to
The
know
Legend
it's a
of
Zelda
Hyrule
game.
Warriors.
Yeah, but yeah, right. Why didn't they call a fucking Metroid Prime Federation Force just Federation Force? Because they know Metroid Prime
Mhm.
is the dance. That's the big thing.
Yeah,
But,
they're just gonna
why
call
the
it
hell-
Triforce Heroes. Like that's just
They
stuff.
don't call that shit Triforce
there's
Heroes?
been a naming convention for how they name mainline and spin-off games for the Zelda franchise.
Yeah, no,
for-
Really? Oh,
But-
like Zelda 2?
I know that you always, because you guys keep bringing
Yeah,
that up. Come on now,
Oh
you're
my
bringing
What?
up the
God.
sequel.
So there's
to
only
Zelda
one
Fourth
spin-off then?
Standard.
Link's
I think
cross-pro
it's pretty
training?
obvious.
Is there
No,
two?
no, 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 no. Come on. Not
No,
in the
but
end of the day,
you
there's a
say this
clearly.
though. You say like there's a naming convention,
You make
but
up
then
these rules.
does it only count for Zelda? Because over here, for example, we have Starwing, Lilac Wars, Star Fox. I mean, do none of those count as the same kind of games and stuff? Same with like Metroid Prime and stuff. Like other examples earlier too. Like it doesn't work like that. It's like what the game is
Why
about.
does it not work like that?
Because
When
that's just them
Nintendo
trying to
themselves
sell
says
the
it
game.
fucking works like that.
They're
though.
trying to sell the game.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
it's
then
marketing.
why didn't they do? Then tell me why don't they do that with the Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors? Why don't they
Because
call it
Hyrule
that?
Warriors is a Warriors
It's a
game.
Warriors
it's not a
game.
Zelda game.
Well, hold on,
It's a
hold on.
crossover.
Wait,
What-
but isn't
what-
hold
what-
on, hold on. Isn't Triforce Heroes a puzzle game?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so
That's
why is
it's
it called
not
The
a
Legend of
Zelda
Zelda then?
game, really.
Oh,
Because
why-
the
why-
Warriors
Oh,
part
it's a
is the part.
multiplayer co-op game. Ugh.
Why
That's
is
not an RPG according to Retro, which
why
is
is
not
Yoshi's
even a
Island-
Zelda's franchise.
Why is Yoshi's Island called Super Mario? like
Again, you're talking. Yes, obviously that was for marketing purposes. I know that. But come on, man. There's a complete difference
Right.
between 2020, 2008.
But why would they call
and all that
Hyrule Warriors?
to
Because
1989 and stuff like that? So that's a
It's
big
because-
difference.
oh, so you have recency bias, is what you're telling me.
No, I'm talking from Super Nintendo and up for sure. Like come
because
on, man,
Warriors
they-
is the part of
ever
that
since,
they're
like, A
trying to
Link
get
the
their
Past,
audience.
when they
But
perfected
these are rules
that.
that you're making up. This isn't like
No,
Nintendo said.
I'm not making shit up when Nintendo has it themselves. Like it's not.
No, I
it's
don't
You're making this
understand,
rule
like-
up. You're making this rule that if it's called such and such, that's what that. But then
That's
when you
mainline,
make-
yeah. It's
you
on
give
the
me examples,
timeline
and
that
you
they
say,
don't
well,
like to talk
that
about.
doesn't
That's
count
fine.
'cause that was 15 years ago. Like that's not fair.
Yeah,
can't-
that's fair. No,
you're
no.
making
I'm not talking 15 years ago. I'm talking 30 fucking years ago. We're talking when they first released
So
their
name the
first ever
cross,
sequel to
name the
Zelda.
spin-offs then.
Name the spin-offs. You got Cadence of Hyrule. You got Hyrule Warriors. You got Age of Calamity. You got Link's Crossbow Training. You got the
They're all
Tingle game.
spin-offs.
You got
Yeah,
the
100%.
Picross game. That's
You
like
know what
16
a lot of those
And then you
games
got
are?
Triforce
You got
Heroes.
the
They're
you got the
crossovers.
Wanda Gameline, you got Zelda's Adventure, you got all those other CDI games that don't have none of them have the Legend of Zelda subtitle.
Okay, so what is the contributing story of Triforce Heroes?
It takes place after A Link Between Worlds. They literally said
That's
themselves.
Nintendo
Mr.
marketing.
Ayuma said it takes place after A Link Between Worlds. It's the same guy or whatever. It's the same exact.
but
Gerard, I'd
that's
like
what
your
it is.
opinion on
Hyrule
this.
Warriors is the
I
Hyrule
mean-
Warriors.
I mean,
If you talk about that, Robert, like about stories and that kind of stuff, Hyrule Warriors, like, because I'm against the Zelda timeline. Hyrule Warriors is literally the only plausible explanation for a timeline where all the Zelda worlds come together, the gaps open, all the links get together, all this kind of stuff.
Well, tell it to Mr. Ayuma, who doesn't fucking consider it. So I don't know
But
what to tell you.
like the timeline doesn't exist anyway because as nothing matters with Breath of the Wild. Since Breath of the Wild not a mainline Zelda.
And that was my other thing is that you're saying, well, it's too different. They said themselves, we want to reinvent the Zelda franchise with Zelda U. And that was Breath of the Wild. And they're going to reinvent it. AK, they're going to be completely different design-wise and all that. AK, for you, Breath of the Wild is a spin-off title. And that's fact.
No,
Because that's what you're
not
saying.
how
Is.
it works. Because
That's 100% how it works. That's
if you
100% how it
take-
works. And guess
no,
what? Wait,
because-
before you say, if you want your little co-op Tears of the Kingdom, that would also take away from this single-player Zelda solo adventure. So your combat thing would also be a damn spin-off.
Because first off, Tears of the Kingdom is still at its core going to be a single-player Zelda franchise. And again, you say reinvent
Can you play
the
Triforce
game,
Heroes
but
single
if
player?
you take the
Can you play
original
Triforce
Zelda,
Heroes single player?
How you know there's co-op and
I don't think
No,
you
that's
can.
I'm
something
saying
that
for
I'll
him,
find.
his
He's
thing-
referring to something that I'll
How does
find.
Triforce work? How does
If
Triforce
they
Heroes
add
work
that
single
co-op
player?
element
AI?
to it.
No, you essentially go like you
Triforce Heroes,
like,
you switch
like it's like
between
they're
the
caricatures and you're like going between them and then you kind of like
that's so much fun.
That
Move
sounds
around.
like the complete, the worst
That's a
way you could
slog.
possibly play that game. I
But because you're talking now, Robert,
Yeah, I mean,
about
the-
the genres, about like how they wanted to redefine Breath of the Wild. Because yeah, they want to redefine the Zelda formula. Breath of the Wild and the original Zelda still are, by its core definition, the exact same type of game. Whereas Triforce Heroes is not. It's not.
No.
If you think about, but every game is so different. Yes, A Link Between Worlds have a different formula to the original concept. You can go in any way, you can take anything and that kind of stuff, like the original game. If you take Adventure of Link, like yeah, it's side scrolling, but it still has the concept of the world and the people and the adventures and all this kind of stuff. And again, just you're
Exactly.
choosing puzzle levels. It's not the same.
Yeah, this
And-
game
Okay, so
Let me
so
say
why-
this real quick.
So
the
why?
gimmick of co-op puzzles. It tell you how many puzzles in the game. How do they do that with Zelda games? Say, oh, this is how many dungeons are in the game. They don't do that shit because that's what you're supposed to be discovering. If they start off telling you this is a puzzle game with co-op, that is the core of that game. Most mainline Zelda games, the core of that game is the story and the cool new gameplay mechanic.
Exactly.
That's
You said the
the-
word. You said the perfect word. Most. Triforce Heroes is just out of the ordinary.
Man.
Because
It's
it is
an
a mainline title.
Yeah,
So here's the
it's
thing, though, Robert.
That's why it's out of the
It's a
ordinary.
mainline title.
Almost
And
all
at the end
those
of the day-
spin-offs
at the
you
end of the
named.
day, please tell me why that these other games in the Zelda franchise that are spin-offs are not called The Legend of Zelda.
Almost everyone you named is some kind of crossover with another studio that they shared the IP with. It's not.
Which is but that's the same thing with the Minish Cap.
You
and
think
all
that?
with
Do you
Capcom.
think
Yeah, you can't do
Anuma
that one
had
because
anything to
Minish Cap-
do with Cadence of Hyrule? You think
What
he
I
had in? Do you think they had any? Anuma had anything to do with Cadence of Hyrule?
Hell yeah, he probably had some
yeah.
input.
He
You
looked
can't-
at it and said, "Yes."
Yeah, that's okay.
Come on, yo. But that's the same thing with
That was it.
like again, Minish Cap, Oracle Season, all those. In the end of the day, that wasn't them.
That's not a
wasn't
crossover with
them.
another franchise, though. That's just a new Zelda game made from a team that they
Okay,
they
Link's
hired.
crossbow training.
Yeah, that is a gimmick.
Just a mini
Zelda
game.
Link game.
that
It's
they-
a
Okay,
game.
It's a
but
first-person
isn't
shooter,
Spirit Tracks a
first-person
very
shooter.
gimmicky?
But yeah, I'm
what
saying
you
the
said,
difference
Bob.
between what you said for
You don't
spin-offs, though,
consider
almost
that a
every
spin-off?
one of
I mean,
them,
mainline.
every one of
I
them's a
just said
crossover.
that I'm on the cusp with that
You're on the
game.
cusp of it. Come on, that's a
I-
mainline. though.
No, but what saves it is the core story of that game.
Yeah.
That's
The
what
core
saves
element
it.
is
Same thing.
Okay,
Don't
so
say
hold
it.
on. Let's say Tears of the Kingdom came out, right? This announced a new game in the Zelda franchise called The Legend of Zelda, blah blah blah. But it is only co-op. It's not single player. But it is essentially Tears of the Kingdom. But you cannot play it single player, and it's like Link in Zelda or something. You consider that? Would you consider that mainline?
That game doesn't work. How can I make a hypothetical?
Yeah, that's
I
a
don't know,
pretty
would you-
that's a
like,
hypothetical that can't exist.
like because in the, like I don't know, like but that's what I'm trying to say. Like is clearly
Okay,
one of the
let me
contentions
humor
is
that
the co-op
statement.
part.
Let me
One of the
humor that
contentions is the
That's
co-op part.
retro
And
humor.
this man also wants co-op in the
That
damn
exact
mainline Zelda
statement,
game.
I will humor your statement. That exact statement from the
Yes.
start to the end. It's a co-op game. Okay, you start the game. You both characters, Zelda and Link, walk in the overworld. You can both go where you want. You walk together. You explore the world. You discover things. You find the dungeons. You create the story and stuff. Yeah, it's a mainline Zelda game because it's not dropping you in co-op puzzles level
So
by
you
level.
feel that it's also so if
Co-op
Traverse Heroes
puzzle rooms.
if Traverse Heroes had an overworld where you would walk to the puzzles, that'd be okay.
It's the story that you create in the world. Yeah,
No,
that's
the
what
story
Zelda
is
is.
great. That is not a Zelda
Is
game.
a world and it is a adventure game, not a bunch of fucking puzzles put together.
You can't
That
have
is
an
not.
adventure game with segmented levels. Come
So
on.
you
now.
think? Do you think that they purposely didn't say Legend of Zelda: Link's crossbow training? You think that was intentional to say, hey, we want to
Yes.
make sure they know this isn't a
They're
mainline
already-
game?
They were already at that point where they clearly set a standard.
But again, I think pretty much every spin-off you mentioned is just like a crossover with some other a game that already existed, an IP that already existed, and they borrowed the Zelda IP and did a crossover game. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, Cadence
Not
of
Age of Calamity,
Hyrule,
that they did. That was-
Picross.
that's not-
Those are all games that existed. The Warriors games existed. They said, all right, let's combine Hyrule Warriors. You got Fire Emblem Warriors. The Warriors is the part of that title that gets people to
Is
play it.
Metroid Prime Federation Force a mainline
No.
Metroid game?
Story-wise, it
that-
has
well,
some
they don't-
ties.
You don't even play as Samus in that game. There's a
No, no,
difference.
no, no,
Traverse
no, no,
Heroes,
no,
you
no,
play
no,
as-
no, no, no. We
goddamn
don't get to do
Link.
that. We don't get to make all these little rules.
No, I'm not making
Metroid
rules.
Prime.
I'm just
Metroid
following
Prime.
Nintendo's thing.
Metroid Prime Federation Force.
From what I heard, it was
Not
a spin-off.
Metroid Pinball. Not.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
makes sense.
God.
None of that stuff is
Here's the
Metroid
thing- here's the-
Prime.
Not Samus.
Here's the thing, Robert.
volleyball.
About the gimmick thing. Here's the
What
thing
happened?
about because you tried to go in for the gimmick thing. Here's the thing. every Zelda game has a gimmick that they add to the overall Zelda. Like for example, A Link to the Past, the gimmick was there was another world. If you take Ocarina of Time, the gimmick is growing older. Majora's Mask, the gimmick is the 3-day cycle. Breath of the Wild, the gimmick is like the absolute freedom, overworld, dynamic system.
Stop. No. That's a whole reinvention of game design. Stop.
They say it in the comment too. Skyward Sword, by definition's title, is a gimmick because you could move the Wiimote around. So you want to discount games because they're gimmicks, and you have to discount literally every single Zelda game there is. The gimmick of Zelda 2, and I'm saying Zelda 2, I'm not saying the Legend of Zelda.
You're the one discounting it, bro. You're the one discounting. You're discounting it because there's segmented levels and it's a puzzle game.
Yeah,
you're the one that's saying. You're the one that's discounting.
It's a puzzle game, bitch, not a Zelda game.
You just said it.
A Zelda puzzle game. What is it? How is that a bad? I don't understand.
No. Don't try to sneak Zelda in there. You just said puzzle game.
You're not listening.
Oh my god, how is that a bad? Yeah, an action puzzle.
I wonder what you think the term mainline means.
That's why he's saying it.
Every time you bring it up, you're changing it. Now it's an action.
No. That's why he's changing it. Hold on.
So
when in the world did I say this whole time that you?
You're listening to what
Zelda
you
is literally
hear.
combat and puzzles, and that's what the whole fucking game is.
let me put a hypothetical out. Let me put this
Let
hypothetical.
me finish this phrase. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're listening to what you want to hear. I say every Zelda game has a gimmick incorporated in the main Zelda thing. That's what I keep telling you. But you're not listening. You're leaving that part out.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. So you know what else I'm leaving out is an overworld in Triforce Heroes. It's just segmented levels. You're just being a baby and you don't want to click a fucking title screen and just that's what it all is.
So let me ask
Legend
this.
of Zelda Triforce Heroes is a damn mainline game.
So,
it's a part of canon. It's a part of the timeline. It's a part of the fucking the Legend of Zelda thing.
It's a bunch of puzzle rooms.
Here's a hypothetical that could have happened. Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Link falls and and Zelda has to save him. That's a Zelda game. That's a mainline game. That nothing to do with the main character.
Yeah.
As long as it's Link, Zelda, Ganondorf.
Do you consider Luigi's Mansion a Mario game?
No.
What?
What if they called it Super Mario Brothers Luigi's Mansion? Then it would be.
Oh, excuse me. Mario Land, Wario. What is it? The third one, like that. Is that a Super Mario Land game?
Yeah,
it's called Super Mario Land. Fuck no, it ain't. It's a Wario game. Get the fuck out of here. They did that shit to sell the goddamn game until they said, "Oh, people really like Wario," and they changed that. All of a sudden, it's Wario Land 4.
Is Hey Pikmin a mainland? Hey Pikmin a mainline Pikmin game?
No.
Why not? It says Pikmin in the title.
No. It's come on. There's a difference. Again, there's a clear difference when they have numbered and then they go Hey Pikmin, and it's Hey Pikmin. There's a difference between
all these side rules. They gotta think of all these rules, man.
Literally.
No, come on. It ain't that hard to look. At the end of the day, it's factual.
So why is it
There's
Metroid Prime Federation?
It's factually. This is literally they gave you the lineup of what's a main line, and you're just saying I don't want to combat.
Games are story-driven adventure games. Cut, paste, done. We're done. That's it.
Regardless, what you want to say is a story.
I don't give a damn what
driven adventure.
Nintendo didn't even want a damn timeline. Fuck what Nintendo says.
Exactly. Fuck what Nintendo says. You just want to face the truth. That's what it is.
They want to sell a game. They're gonna put Legend of Zelda in front of that shit.
I think Mario Land on the Game Boy is a spin-off. I don't even consider that a Mario, like mainline Mario.
Right, so Wario,
Super Mario Land.
spin-off.
It doesn't even play like a Mario game.
I mean, it plays nothing like a Mario game.
It's got the
Super Mario Land.
The most core, it's a side scroller.
Super Mario
jumping.
Land.
Yeah, Mario Land is way different.
Like the original Super Mario Land?
Yeah, 2
plays like a Mario game?
Mario Land 2 plays more like Mario.
Come on.
Mario Land 2? Mario Land 2 does.
No. Hold on, Retro. I know you don't agree with that.
I disagree with that statement.
Thank you. I knew. I saw you like you're like he doesn't.
I'm playing this. I'm like, what the hell is this? This isn't Mario. Like, didn't even feel like a Mario game to me.
What?
Oh my goodness.
2 does.
I'm not saying it's a spinoff. I'm saying it doesn't feel like your typical Mario game.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like.
But the thing is, this is the problem though, is that no one can actually agree on what somehow a mainline is because you guys are
Robert, you don't even agree with your own rules.
But at the same time, Juice is also saying that 4 other games are not even mainline. So it's like for some reason,
Mario Land is a Mario game for the Game Boy. That's all there is to it. That's all it is. It's a different. It's different for the most
Very
part,
different.
but it's a Mario game for a handheld.
So let
that's
me
just-
ask
that's,
him.
that's why they made it, because they had a handheld. Said we got to put a Mario.
And there was
game on it.
limitations. They
Wait.
before they
So,
figured
but
the
that-
hardware out.
Well, Retro, you said you considered it a mainline though, right? Mario
I
Land.
consider Super Mario Land standard.
Oh, it is- I
normal,
consider
man.
it a
That's not
Mario
spin-off
game.
to me.
Okay,
No,
why is my question.
Because it plays exactly like the first Mario game, for example.
It's a Mario
exactly
adventure
the
game.
same.
That's the only reason.
The
'Cause
only
it is a
reason-
Mario
because
adventure game.
I understand why T and Juice think this because it looks vastly different. The reason it looks vastly different is like basically the first Game Boy game with what they could do. It just looks very different because of what they think they could do. But that doesn't change the fact that at its core, it's an absolute normal standard Mario game. Even if you have Daisy, even if you have the real world shit, which Odyssey retook anyway again, it's 100% a normal mainline Mario game.
I'm just saying it didn't feel like one.
it's definitely a mainline.
I don't even remember. Is there
Yeah.
flagpoles? I don't even remember.
No,
No, you like climb and you
No,
get like
no,
a
it's,
little.
it's, it's
You have
different.
like the little doors and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You
little
run through
doors.
doors.
But you don't have flagpoles in the sequels either. So
no, there's
But
not
you don't got
Mario
flagpoles
game.
in Galaxy, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think for me one of the only franchises I feel like
Super Mario
even the
World 2.
handhelds to the home console, I felt like I never felt like this is an inferior. This is not this is not up to the standards of the home console version is the Mario Kart series. Like to me, I enjoyed DS more
So why
than
do you feel that?
Which one?
Mario Kart.
Why do you feel like all that?
Because it's just they don't
You mean
divert. They're
Super
just
Mario,
100%
you want
Mario
Super
Kart.
Kart?
Like they just feel like 100% Mario Kart every game. I don't feel like anything's lacking or man, this doesn't feels compromised
Like even
because it's on
Double Dash,
handheld.
which has a pretty well-known gimmick.
No,
It's still
fuck
at the
Double
end of the
Dash.
day, it is a Mario game, or
Fuck
excuse me, it's a
Double
Mario
Dash.
Kart game.
Fuck double. How you gonna say fuck
Double
Dash?
trash, man. Nah, that's not.
I don't
right.
like it as
That's
much
not
as
right.
everybody else does.
Jesus
I
Christ.
like
It's a good
DS.
Mario
I
game,
said
Mario Kart game rules.
I said screw Double Dash. I said I was playing Mario Kart. I don't know what the timeline was, but I was really enjoying Mario Kart DS and I was just having fun with that.
That's my favorite Mario Kart DS.
So I'm just
That's
actually
my favorite.
curious about this, considering he's completely like separate from this whole discussion. Basically, I wonder what Terrell thinks about the spin of
This
Zelda.
guy is just-
I literally don't have
Jive into the muck.
You have no
worthy because for one, I'm not overly familiar with all of the Zeldas. Like I know the mainline one. I know like.
Well,
the
how do you
console-
feel about
Remember
how you
the
feel about
Zelda? I know the
Nintendo
console-
themselves
I know
putting
the con. Oh,
in
go ahead.
this thing and having Four Swords Adventure and Triforce Heroes are part of every other game that is under the brand The Legend of Zelda. How do you feel about that?
The problem with Zelda specifically since that's what we're talking about is that Zelda has a lot of games that you can consider like 100% mainline. No one would disagree with you. Like no one's gonna sit there and go, well, Twilight Princess is a mainline. Everyone would agree with that. And then you got games that are clearly fucking spinoffs like Link's Crossbow Training. No one's like, oh fuck, that's part of the canon. But it also has a bunch of games that literally can go either way. And I think that's kind of where
Like
Triforce
Four
Heroes.
Swords and Triforce Heroes.
That
Those are
very much
the ones
like-
that are literally that.
So
that
to
pure.
me, I feel like Zelda is like one of the worst examples because it has something that it has a bunch of content that goes either or. So I feel like either or you could say it's a spinoff or you could say it's a mainline. I don't think either of you would be wrong. It kind of just depends on what you perceive a mainline Zelda title to be.
Well, here's the
Now-
thing. Up until Breath of the Wild, it was very easy to define what Zelda was, like what a Zelda title was.
Yeah.
And even in that to that point, Triforce Heroes does not fit into that shit.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And neither does it doesn't
Totally
fit.
does.
Not at all.
It totally does.
If you
It
just
totally doesn't.
He just said that, though.
It doesn't at all.
Okay, so my question, all right, well, Robert, what makes it fit? I'm out of curiosity.
Bro, in the end of the day, like I know Retro's gonna say, oh well, you know, it's something you make yourself. You grab some really spiritual type words that make no sense into what we're saying.
No. Don't
The
say
very
what you
basic
think somebody else is gonna say.
concept of
You just
like,
explain your point.
Combat and puzzles was such a big focus in Zelda, and that game really focuses on combat and puzzles. And it just happens to be that there's segmented levels, and it happens to be that you play with 2 other people,
So
maybe.
so Zelda games are just a series of combat and puzzles.
Those are strip it down to the very basis of what they focus on. What they focus on? Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a
Really?
question. T. Well,
If
no,
you
no.
focus on if you strip it on what you focus on, that's a big portion.
I want to just make sure I understand this. T. What was your reason for why you say it's not? I just wanted to know, make sure I got it understood. Why you wouldn't consider Triforce Heroes as a mainline?
Why would because it doesn't follow again up until Breath of the Wild. Obviously, you can change after that, but there's still core elements to Breath of the Wild that deal with Zelda. But each Zelda game, each mainline Zelda game has a mainline story that you can follow. It is an adventure game. You go through an adventure, you go to your dungeons, you get your special weapons for those dungeons, and that was the core of what Zelda games were. Now, if you're just putting a bunch of fucking levels together, which that's Bubble Bobble. Like, Bubble Bobble has that shit. Like, that's not what a core Zelda game is. A core Zelda game is, what is the story? Okay, and how does whatever gameplay gimmick you have goes into that story? Ocarina of Time. It has the Ocarina. So you time travel, right? That was a big thing.
Game.
Majora's Mask was about the mask. It was a story about the mask that led you through a storyline. And you have a main character, you have a main villain, you have dungeons, you have everything that goes into a Zelda game. Triforce Heroes does not have that setup. It does not have that structure whatsoever. It is about the gimmick. It is mostly about its gimmick, which is co-op and puzzle and going through puzzles with a bunch of other people. That's what it's about.
Look at this cinematic. I've never watched this before. This shit.
Just like we were saying, Federation Force. Federation Force is a gimmick. It is about you get 4 guys together or girls or whatever, and you get them all together and you go through these different rooms.
It's only 3, isn't
and that's is it 3? Yeah, you get and you go through these different rooms. It's not about the story of Metroid and progressing.
You're not scanning anything.
You're not. Yeah, this is not that difficult. It's very simple.
Exactly, it's not that difficult.
Look at this opening cutscene. Like nothing. If you didn't know this was Triforce Heroes and you didn't play Triforce Heroes and you didn't know this was Triforce Heroes, I'd be surprised if anybody knew would figure out that's what it is.
Look, in the end of the day,
It looks like fucking WarioWare.
This looks like absolute garbage.
It was produced by
Brezzo.
Anuma. It was.
I
want to see what the first level looks like. I want to see.
Ironically enough, I do find myself in a weird.
Okay, so this looks like
because hearing both sides, I wouldn't necessarily immediately go, "Oh yeah, it's obviously not."
Bro, it's look at this. Let's
see what you do here. 'Cause I have no idea.
It's closer to a mainline game than like other spinoffs. So
well, of course,
I'll give it that.
Come on now.
So that's what I'm saying. No, but that's the point I'm making, Robert. Like, I wouldn't immediately.
I'm still questioning if this is Triforce Heroes.
I'm just saying because Juice's. I know Juice's whole
there's
thing
more
was.
cutscenes than.
I'm wondering if I clicked on the right video. To be honest.
When did I say anything about a cutscene?
No, okay, but
No,
this is story. Stories happening right in front of you.
I'm trying to see if you actually moved.
I remember Juice saying that his criteria was if it was on handheld, you essentially just disavowed it.
Well, I mean, that's Juice. He just look. There's even an overall right now.
It was just a bad statement, but that's fine.
Look at this. Look at this. Look what's going on, Terrell. You see this? There's even a
see, I wouldn't. To me, if you can turn this on and go and be like, oh, this is definitely a spinoff. Like this is very much I can see you going either way with it, but I probably
is this the entirety of the world? Is this area, or is there like
kind of like an overworld map, kind of where you go into the dungeons and shit into the worlds?
To the dungeons.
So it's almost like.
Well, here's my question. What about?
Because that's all it is.
So here's my question. Things like Spirit Tracks.
Not even Breath of the Wild has dungeons.
What would you?
That's crazy.
What would you
having NPCs doesn't mean you have a story.
No. My question is this:
NPCs are talking, so therefore
I'm learning something right now. I'm watching this.
You may not like the story, but there's a story. That face, those ears, you there, pointy ears. You may not like the story, but there's a damn story.
Yeah, I probably would lean.
There's almost too much story for what the game.
I would lean more.
Exactly because it's a mainline
You don't even play as Link.
It's a
technically.
Trojan horse to get you to buy this shit because it is not a mainline Zelda game.
You don't even
This is
play as
all
Link.
Okay, so here's here's the co-op.
Mm,
So that's like
so-
the hub world, like in Monster Hunter, where you can meet.
Why are there
in
3
co-op.
links running around?
Because it's the Triforce, man.
What's
The
the story
No,
on
Triforce.
because you don't even play
That's
as
not
Link
Blue,
technically.
that's,
so that they
You do
can
play as
this.
Link. It's actually I'll read it to you.
Who's the?
It's literally the same Link from apparently a Link Between Worlds.
Says Nintendo marketing. Go ahead.
No, it says
What the
Aonuma.
fuck?
Aonuma.
All right, let's
I would,
watch
I
this.
would, I
Yeah.
probably would lean
Oh, I
towards
know. So the same Aonuma that said, "Oh, we took the gamepad features out of the Wii U version because it was too distracting." Marketing.
but come
That's
on now.
marketing.
That's not. I feel like that's not fair. I'm not
What I'm
saying you're
saying
wrong.
is, just because Aonuma said it, don't mean it's biblical either. You know what I'm saying?
It's
'Cause
biblical.
Oh, no,
you'll
I
say-
would agree.
you'll say
I
some
would say the
stuff on
game
marketing
itself.
too.
John got a heart.
would-
Luke got 5 rupees. Definitely.
He will say some stuff for marketing purposes too.
I would
But see, so
say.
you have a little
you-
overworld area, and you go into the.
I don't understand how this is.
multiplayer
I
puzzles.
guess my issue is I don't know how you would look at this and go definitively. This obviously isn't a mainline Zelda. Like it, to me,
Oh, yeah.
It's actually
This is
convinced me
gimmicky.
more watching
No.
this. I'm even more
In
convinced
the end
this
of
isn't
the
a
day,
mainline.
look,
This is
Nintendo says themselves, so I'm taking Nintendo's
Mm.
damn word.
I
Okay.
think
All right.
Zelda.
So that's gonna be the rule.
What
from
if
now on.
Nintendo says
Nintendo
Metroid
said it,
Prime is a
so I'm gonna
mainline?
take their word for it. That's your rule.
Federation
I mean,
Force.
what else? I'm not gonna take something that they didn't say as in. I'm like if they're the creator,
That
man,
one
what the hell,
time,
get it?
One time
There's
Nintendo
a
said
reason they've been
there is
doing
no
it.
timeline.
You know what this reminds me of?
Every link is a different link. That one time, that's what Nintendo said. But now they're saying this because they want you to buy this goddamn game. That's all there is.
Wasn't
to it.
there a game that had either DLC or like a multiplayer mode? This is what this is reminding me, like a multiplayer mode in like a
Link's
Kirby game or
Awakening had
something.
DLC, I think, the remake where you could make your own dungeons. If that's what you mean.
No, I'm just thinking this looks like what would be like an optional side multiplayer mode in like
Damn, yo, in Era's curd, they
a Kirby game.
That quality internet.
That's probably because of Miiverse. That's probably because of the Miiverse.
He said Zelda 4 Swords on the GameCube is better than this garbage.
Like, there's nothing. This almost looks like a challenge, 3-person challenge, not a co-op.
Challenge map.
That's what it is. It's a puzzle game.
This is
not
American
for online
Gladiators.
co-op.
Yeah, this looks like what would be an optional multiplayer side mode in a Kirby game or something. That's what this looks like.
Okay, but that's kind of fucked up to say that's just.
Right, that's what it looks like.
He's worked all hard on
Factually,
it, and you're just sitting around
It
like.
has an overworld.
It does come off as like an insult, look.
but it's just what it looks like. It looks like some of those. You
I know,
know,
but I'm saying
no,
it
no,
does
this
come
doesn't
off-
look like
it does
even the
come off-
main game of the game.
I know you're saying you specifically you're saying that in a negative way.
Yeah, and Paper Mario Sticker
Yeah,
Star
it's
is
it's
Paper
like you
Mario
open your mouth and
RPG.
you went, yeah, that sounds pretty bad actually.
Paper Mario Sticker Star and Paper Mario RPG, same series, the same thing.
Paper Mario RPG? That wasn't even a
Oh,
game.
Mario RPG, not Paper Mario RPG. Mario RPG and Paper Mario Sticker Star, same shit. It's the same.
No,
It's
they're not
in the
because
same-
they're not even the
it's not a
same
spin-off.
name. They're not even the same name.
Okay,
It's
so
just-
okay, Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, and Sticker Star, they're the same shit. It's the
they
same
are
thing.
the same
It
franchise. It is the same
says
franchise.
Paper Mario in the title.
Yes,
but it's
yes.
the same damn game.
And that. That's the same franchise.
It's a mainline game.
Who's gonna say that Sticker Star is not a part of a mainline Paper Mario game? Who's gonna say that?
Everybody, everybody on the
Come
planet.
on now, that's crazy. Maybe they don't
Nobody-
like it, but of course it's a mainline Paper Mario
Mhm.
game.
Do people even
Yeah,
count
Who's gonna
the?
say that's
Color
a
Splash?
spin-off of Paper Mario
It-
Sticker Star?
It's in the mainline series. It's a continuation of that story.
Yes. No one's gonna say that's a spin-off Paper Mario. There's
look
not
it
a
up.
single soul that will agree with you there. A spin-off Paper Mario. We've never had a spin-off Paper Mario.
Yeah. Unless you count the Mario and Luigi collab, which is what that
Oh,
No,
the Paper
no,
Jam.
you can't do that.
That's
No.
Mario and Luigi.
Yeah,
That's a main. That's
a different,
Mario and
that's a
Luigi.
different series. That's a different series. But
Yeah,
Paper Mario-
I'm just saying,
Literally
all I'm
said it
saying
it's a
is-
Mario and
Mario-
Luigi game.
unfortunately
Thousand Year Door.
y'all picked the IP that has the most like wiggle room in between its fucking like games. Like you didn't like so I
No.
can
But Nintendo said.
Yes, Nintendo said.
Nintendo
Again, there's a
said
reason
these
that-
are all same series. So Same
They
rules.
could have They could have very, very easily slapped the Legend of Zelda on Crossbows training. They could have very easily the Legend of Zelda on anything they want to because it's that. But they do it for what if it's on the yeah, I get it. The timeline's stupid, but it's their timeline. Their canon. Their main line. It's stupid, yes, but that's what they call it. I don't know what to say. It's just factually that. There's nothing wrong with it, but it is what it is. That's what they call it.
Look at that mainline
keep
Zelda
telling
shit,
yourself.
Robert. It's
You
beautiful.
keep telling yourself that, and you believe it.
Mainline
look.
Zelda and action, Robert. You're missing the action.
Yes. Look, hold on. So if it was a single player of this, it's only because it's multiplayer. But come on, man. Yes, of course.
It's not only because it's multiplayer.
Yeah,
It's
there
because
is a
it's
single
Look, you
player.
can't even leave the
Bullshit.
screen.
To the
gimmicky
past.
ass
exactly
challenge level
it's
game.
exactly like a Link to the Past because it's a fucking
challenge
main line.
level
Get the hell
ass
out of here.
game. A bunch of challenge levels. That's all this shit is.
You're gonna say, oh, it's just like a Link to the
Is,
Past. It's a single player.
Bayonetta
Yeah, it's
Origins-
just like a fucking main line.
Collection
Exactly.
of challenge levels. Oh, look, they threw a little overroll in there to make you feel like you're playing something that's worthwhile. That's all that shit is. It's a
That's
gimmick.
messed up. This is EPD that worked it in, and I don't know was the producer. You think this man who just wants to work
Yeah,
on
and,
nothing?
who didn't?
Did this come out before or after Wind Waker?
So just because EPD worked on that, that means that's it. That's the thing. That's quality.
You know what this was? This was, hey,
Now
we need to
they-
find a way to
Now
link.
that's
We need to
again,
find a
Again,
way
these
to
are
get
the rules
people to
you're
use
making,
the
so you gotta
link
stick
No,
with
table.
them.
I didn't say anything about the quality. I'm just saying about the factual thing that it's a mainline title. It has nothing to do with quality. I'm not talking about quality. You could Tears of the Kingdom could come out released at a 20 on Metacritic, but it's still a mainline. That shit don't matter.
Anyway,
You don't agree with that? You think quality has to do with mainline? All of a sudden, that
I'm
has
just
nothing to
trying
do
to.
with
I'm trying to figure out your logic and rule because they change
it.
every time.
I didn't say anything about
You make
quality.
it-
Did I?
every time
you
Anyone
get
here,
rid of-
did I say anything about quality as a
Why'd you
mainline?
throw them out there?
Listen,
So what?
unfortunately, this
They're
I
all
feel
Bro,
like-
you moderate.
I feel like y'all started on hard mode with this conversation because there are other easier IPs to discern between this. Because the issue is such a like most people would hear this and be like, "What the like?"
Player one. Imagine playing a fucking a Legend of Zelda game and player one is floating around over your head. What the? That ain't no damn Zelda game, bro.
This
That
does
is not
look
a
better
mainline
than
Zelda
Triforce
game.
Heroes.
Uniqueness about this damn Zelda
This
game.
looks better
it
than
ain't a big deal.
Triforce Heroes.
It ain't a big
Uniquely-
deal. That's
You're right.
point.
It's uniquely not a Zelda game. That's what you're right.
Only with that says The Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Except for
Because
when it says Metroid Prime.
that ain't,
Then it doesn't
that ain't
count.
really representing what the game is.
They can't
That's
call
a-
it.
that's
and
a-
they
None of
call
them.
it
You know
Zelda.
what? None of them are
Again,
mainline because you can't play as
especially
Zelda. None of
if
them are
they're so worried
mainline.
about marketing, especially on Wii U. They easy could have called it The Legend of Zelda: Hyrule Warriors, and I will stand by that a million times. They easy could have done that, and it maybe would have even sold more. Who knows? But in the end of the day, it's a spin-off. That's what it is.
Yeah, because it was
Exactly.
made by Tecmo, who's known for making Warriors.
What
games,
about
and they know they
Metroid
couldn't get away
Prime
with that
Pinball?
bullshit.
I can't bring that up
Robert.
again because the Capcom will Minish Cap it.
What about Metroid Prime Pinball on the
And
Come on,
Oracle
man.
DS?
You're trying to. You're sitting here saying that there's nothing really discernible about Warriors games compared to
No,
like a
there's very
mainline.
much.
Oh, okay.
There's very much. I agree with that. Of course, of course.
So is
But you
Metroid
just-
Prime
you just tried to throw out
Pinball
Capcom
a
and-
spinoff?
nice try, but it's way different, and you know it. It's
No,
way
I
different.
know that. I know obviously it's different in terms of
It's
that.
F-Zero GX, F-Zero game. Oh no, Sega made it, so it ain't no
is.
F-Zero game.
No, but I'm
No,
trying.
can't do
No, because you said it. You just brought up Koei, so I'm thinking you're trying to make it because it's not.
Metroid
I didn't
Prime
have to, I'm
Pinball.
bringing up Koei because
Dude.
they're known for making Dynasty Warrior
Metroid
games.
Is this a
Prime
spinball?
Pinball
Is this a
They're known
spinoff
for making
or is
Warrior
this a
games.
mainline?
That's what they do. So they just took their Warrior shit and slapped Zelda characters on it. That is not that. They know they can't just say Legend of Zelda Warriors. I mean, they can't do that.
The canon mainline.
Look at this
Metroid
mainline
Prime
Metroid
game.
Prime game.
Fucking killing me with that
If they
shit.
could, they would have tried to get away with that. But they know they got roasted for trying that shit.
This
Like,
is
come
actually a
on.
good game.
This
Though.
thing-
Yeah, this
Legend of
shit
Zelda
looks
game.
fucking good though.
It is.
I love this guy. I was just playing this shit a couple days ago.
Not a mainline Metroid Prime game though.
I'm gonna just stick to my Pokemon where everything's easily discernible. I ain't gonna deal with this dumb
Is
shit.
Pokemon Mystery
This is
Dungeon?
like
one of those
bullshit,
arguments.
too.
Is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon a mainline
game?
game?
Because with Legends Arceus, I
Legends
guarantee there's a
Arceus-
bajillion people that say, "Oh, it's a spinoff. It's a mainline. It's a spinoff. It's a mainline." It's a spinoff,
Legend
mainline."
Arceus is the only game that has that issue, and it's mainly because it technically takes
What
place
was that
in
other
like
one called?
past Sinnoh from like Gen 4.
I mean, to me, that's a spin-off. Arceus, no.
Can you
Arceus is viewed as a.
From I heard it's a mainline. That's what I've heard.
It's hard to call it a mainline because it's missing aspects that mainline games have.
I haven't heard that.
Like the problem with Arceus is very much meant as like a single player like adventure.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be like more of like a 1 or 2 time experience, whereas like every other mainline Pokemon game is about the trading, the battling, the collecting, the fucking like the fighting of gym leaders and shit like that. Like Arceus is like an adventure. And that's fine, but it's hard to call it a mainline game. The problem is that each franchise dictates what a mainline is. It's not like you can just say, "Oh, well, it's an RPG. You're still catching Pokemon." I'm like, yeah, I don't even really consider I barely consider Let's Go fucking mainline, and it technically, arguably,
Game
is
Freak does
because it's a fucking remake. But it realistically, I barely view that one as a mainline. Arceus is probably the only one that can be debated. And I can see people going either way, but in my opinion, it really isn't, because it's very much a variation of the Pokemon formula, not an evolution, just a variation. Like
Variation.
like Scarlet and Violet, I would say is Scarlet and Violet is a mainline, even it's an evolution of the gameplay.
How do you feel? But I just saw that, and you can say it's for marketing. It is what it is. But look, they did an official infographic of all mainline Pokemon games, and on there is Legends Arceus.
This man trying to destroy all our shit.
I mean, listen, I understand why you're saying it, because they do include, like, Pokemon has a timeline of sorts, but that, like, realistically, they include Arceus.
This is a mainline Bayonetta game, by the way.
More importance.
Says Bayonetta.
Arceus is like the first Zelda-like game in the sense that, like, it can go either way. It's like on the cusp of being a mainline game, but like still has some elements with taken out of it for it not to be considered as such.
Sounds like Breath of the Wild to me.
Breath of the Wild is a different
argument whether or not fucking wasn't that you saying that fucking what do you call it, the shrines and shit were dungeons?
I know I am, but I'm trying to act like retro. I'm trying to act like retro and say there's no dungeons.
That's your first problem.
Yeah, that was your first mistake.
Don't you ever act like retro?
Because retro's the one that says, "Oh, there's no dungeons."
Is this a mainline Bayonetta game, Robert?
Okay, well,
that is some retro
that doesn't have dungeons. So
is my mic on?
Literally, retro would say that too. That's
what made a Zelda game until Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild is a redefining of the Zelda.
I had my mic muted for like 10 minutes.
Did you know it was muted?
No.
Man.
I say we're watching this mainline Bayonetta game because you play as Bayonetta and it's called Bayonetta Origins.
Why is it called Bayonetta? She ain't even
Why don't they
Bayonetta
just call it Cereza's? Why'd they throw Bayonetta in there? Must
She's
be a
not even
mainline
Bayonetta
game.
in this game.
Because most people, remember, if you don't play Bayonetta, you don't know.
Couldn't have anything to do with marketing.
Bayonetta Origins changes it up.
What about Metroid Prime Pinball?
Well, no, because to be fair, Bayonetta Origins is a fair statement. It is the origins of Bayonetta.
What about the one I played earlier? Metroid Prime Pinball has Metroid Prime in the title. Is that a spinoff or no?
Look, you're right. Look, for Metroid Prime, there are all sorts of.
What about Metroid Prime Hunters and First Hunt? What about those?
And yeah, look.
What about Sonic Pinball? Is that a mainline Sonic game?
I think Sonic Pinball is actually, to be honest. Sonic Spinball.
Prime is spinoff. It's a different series. There's a spinoff of Metroid.
I think we've beaten this dead horse, though.
It wasn't even worth all this ever. I want this to be stated, but okay. Hey. As long as you had fun.
Horizon Forbidden West DLC came out.
How did it sell?
Who gives a fuck?
Triforce here. Did it sell like a
I'm sorry.
Line?
I'm giving you the response of the rest of the world.
Sold over a mil.
Oh, it sold over a mil.
Wait, what did?
That sounds like a mainline Zelda game to me.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys.
Yes.
What sold over a mil?
What? Triforce Heroes?
Triforce Heroes apparently sold over 1 million copies.
Hey man.
Robert, the problem
because
is
it's still released.
You know how
I
didn't know Retro owned the game. My determining factor, like if I'm on the fence or the final piece to the puzzle or the final thing to put me over, is I look at us and I see Zelda fans or Mario fans, and if the majority of us don't buy a game right there, it's already a sign that it's not a
That
mainline
doesn't make
game.
any sense. No,
That's
that
pretty
makes no
much.
sense.
That's
I
like a
don't-
weird.
I don't miss Zelda games, and I still haven't. So
No.
you know what I'm saying?
You missed one. It's alright. You missed one. It's not a
What
big deal.
about Bowser's
No, I
Fury?
didn't.
Let's get into the. Let's go
How
back
does
to
it add to
Bowser's
the
Fury.
timeline?
What,
You know
as
what's
far as that
funny,
being a
funny
mainline?
about? You know why I actually own this, by the way?
Why?
Because I had plans to play this with 2 other people, and then we
Cool.
just never did. So I literally never even finished this yet. You
Because
know,
the gimmick
because
kept you away from.
Don't worry,
finishing.
Retro.
Yes.
We're gonna play it now. Now, after all this, we're gonna play it. Me and you. What is
And you're probably gonna
if
have
you
fun.
want to play this shit,
You're gonna
we
be.
play
Are
this
you gonna
shit.
have fun? You're gonna be bored.
Because I
as
know the
shit.
demo playing with randoms was not fun. That
But
was
that's
one of
why
the worst
Retro
experiences.
isn't random. Retro is not a random.
Yeah, he is.
I'm gonna
You're
play
gonna
with
have
this
to have a
man.
third random though.
Hey, yeah, if you never seen Retro before, he's random as fuck.
I'm gonna play with this man. His little
Mainline Zelda game. It must be one of the most embarrassing mainline Zelda games nobody talks about ever. It's one of the only mainline Zelda games that nobody talks about is these gimmicky ass.
Where is the Legend of Zelda in the
four-player
title?
co-op
Hold that
games.
up. How prominent is the
It's
title?
right there. It's big.
I can't see.
Hey,
his
you
blurry
remember the
okay.
Celtic
It
video?
is pretty
Like
big.
that is literally the mainline logo. The Legend of Zelda.
Have you seen that
Hell.
Celtic video or Nintendo Black Crisis video on Triforce Heroes?
Yeah,
Remember?
Commonwealth
No.
Realm
They didn't
do a
make that
Triforce
shit.
Heroes
They
video.
No, they don't give a damn because it ain't part of. It ain't part
Do
of the
you
main-
know what a good
Man,
barometer
I don't
is
care
for
what
stuff
they
like
say.
this, Robert? When
What?
this came out, nobody and fucking nobody was like, "Holy shit! A new mainland Zelda game came out.
No.
It's a new Zelda." Nobody said that. Everybody back then
Nintendo
already
said it. Nintendo
You know
said it
what?
because
You know what else?
I
You know what
know
else? A lot of people said
Let's check
that
the poll.
about so many games in this world. But you
Nintendo
know
said it
what?
was mainline, so because they want you to buy that shit.
It's tragic. It's tragic because it don't matter because like that having it by popularity, so many games will lose. Good ass games. I'm not saying that's a good ass game. I don't know. I played it. I didn't finish it.
What's the matter, man?
Damn, what the fuck?
So, Robert, is Minecraft Legends a mainline Minecraft game?
That
It's-
means nothing.
It says
Oh,
Legends
really?
in
That's
there.
that's a
Minecraft,
setup. That's
Minecraft
really-
has two. Minecraft
don't
has
really
like
work.
Minecraft has one main game, and that's it.
I know.
Everything-
I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't really work.
but
Sorry,
considering the whole franchise
See,
is literally
listen,
one
Retro,
word, it's kind of
Retro,
tough.
this is one of the few times you were a part of the majority, and you immediately want to go fuck it up.
You messed it up.
Just
You had it going.
enjoy your moment because it'll never happen again. Enjoy it.
Is this a
This guy
mainline
knows
game?
that someone's gonna take it from you in a
You
minute.
had it, and then you messed it up.
Terrell, is
Yeah,
this a
yeah.
mainline?
What mainline? What mainline fan art?
mainline fan art.
That's legit.
I say it's
Yeah.
canon.
You know
my
what?
dick
Disney
is
Star
canon.
Wars or Disney bought Star Wars and immediately said nothing's canon anymore. That
Mhm.
other than the
Until they failed, and now they're making all that shit.
and
canon
now
again.
everyone's now fans are saying their trilogy isn't canon. Like Robert Rule 2, who defended the prequels to his death, he would defend those. Now he's saying I don't count the sequel trilogy as canon. Like that's
Look, I guess you could
I don't count
totally
his
do that
opinion
all
as
you
canon.
want, but there's a bit of a difference when Triforce Heroes is by Aonuma and everything instead of no George Lucas with Star Wars. Come on, there's a bit of a difference with that. The slightest. You gotta admit that.
He wanted to make a little side game. That's cool. I'm glad he got that out of his system. That's good for him.
I'm sure.
I'm happy for Aonuma. You
Well,
can't just keep making full-on Zelda games all the time. You
Actually-
gotta deviate and do a little something different. I got that.
He's not even.
beyond
He didn't
me,
even
but-
direct Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, so he's kind of been taking a little more of a overview.
Nobody's a producer.
Yeah.
Isn't he a producer?
But still, he's not the director.
There's a lot of producers on that game.
You know,
Yeah, but-
Miyamoto's probably listed as a producer.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a producer too.
I think he's been kind of just taking on a more
You know what he's been working
supervising
on?
role.
Which
He's
is
working
good.
on 4 Swords Triforce. I'll tell you, that's the next
And,
thing.
and anybody gonna buy
What the
that
fuck
shit?
is happening, bro? What is happening right now? This is where we
78
live.
million install base. You're gonna barely muster 1 million sales for a
Come on,
mainline
that
Zelda
was
game?
like that was
For
towards
a
the end of his
mainline
life. That was
Zelda
towards the end of his life, man.
For a mainline Zelda game on a 78 million install base. you can barely muster 1 million. That's strange. I don't
Oh
know.
my!
And
wonder
only
why
one-
that-
I'm
I
sure
wonder why that is.
And only
there's some
Retrodeath
other ones
owns
that are
it.
like damn. I'm sure there's other Zelda titles like damn. You thought that would have sold more? Come on, there's gotta be. I don't know. I'll look it up right now. See what they got.
Don't just throw the argument out there. You gotta back it up.
The Wii, obviously, fucking Skyward Sword with 3 mil.
Yeah, but
you would
there's a
think that would've
reason
sold
why.
more.
There's a reason why that didn't sell well.
Yeah, because it sucks.
I was gonna say it came out way at the end of the. Nobody cared about the Wii at that point when that game came out. I think
All right,
that's
let's-
what.
I'm going down the list now. I'm going down the rabbit hole. So let's see. You got
This is not.
This is
worth
the
it.
you
worst
got
podcast
Spirit
ever.
Tracks at
It's
almost
absolutely
3
y'all's
million.
fault. Y'all allowed this
150
foolishness.
million install base with only 3 million with Spirit Tracks.
Okay, and what's your point there? Because I said I'm on the cusp of Spirit Tracks.
Yeah, I don't count Spirit Tracks either.
Majora's
And
Mask.
even I
3
say
million,
Spirit Tracks
3
is like
million
the only.
Mask, that's less.
what?
That's less than half
What's that?
of what Ocarina did.
What are you saying?
Majora's Mask, 3 million. That's less than half of what Ocarina did.
Again, a game that came out at the end of the system's life. People had moved on.
Just like Triforce Heroes.
What?
Wait, to be fair, didn't Triforce Heroes did release late from what I remember?
Yeah,
right?
it was like the last year, the damn before we're all
Yeah,
hyping
what-
up for the Switch. Come on now.
I understand. I
I'm
understand.
just
I
saying,
I'm not even
understand.
listening anymore.
I understand the reaction,
I'm going
but
along
technically
with
that's
you.
a fair argument. That's all I'm
I'm
saying.
going along with you, man.
That's a fair statement.
wanna hear
but
my-
I understand.
You want to hear my?
No.
What game did you just mention?
Yours is gonna be the most
What game?
basic bitch. Oh, was it on the
Triforce
DS?
No,
Like,
What games were you talking
Majora's
about?
Mask.
I don't count Majora's Mask personally.
Wait, you gotta see. Come on,
knew
Retro,
it.
get
This
them.
man
I
counts
knew it.
nothing.
I knew it.
Now you lost me.
Dude,
That's to me. That is.
and once again, my point is proven.
It's
This
a direct
fucking
sequel to Ocarina of Time.
this IP. Wait, what? Why does Majora's Mask not count? That's my question.
Is it because of the
Yeah.
data cycle? and
Tell
stuff?
me.
This feels like a spin-off to me. That's all.
Oh my god, see, this
Then
is
why-
stupid. Y'all shouldn't even have done this. I already knew this was gonna be a fucking problem.
Well, you
want
to talk about You want to talk about DLC? That's
You got a worse
DLC.
argument than Robert did. If it
That's
feels like a
DLC.
spin-off,
You just
Damn.
destroyed. You just destroyed
Then,
our.
bruh,
That's
Bro,
almost.
what the
That's
fuck is
DLC
that?
before you could
That's
download
literally-
content.
that is literally the statement of bruh, man.
It's
I'm
DLC. before
playing. No.
DLC.
I'm
2
playing
year
Breath of the Wild.
development
Eh,
cycle.
Feels like a spin-off for Twilight
2-year
Princess. Let me get the
development
fuck out of
That
here.
would
is
be
your-
DLC
that's-
by today's
man, you-
standards.
Oh my
You just completely
goodness.
destroyed our entire argument.
I'm just
It's a
telling
waste
you.
of time now. We just completely wasted
Did you
our
make
time.
Robert's argument look good in this far
I'm
of the
just
argument,
saying.
bro? All you had to do was keep your mouth closed, bro.
damn.
That's all you had
Worst
to do.
Zelda game.
And look at this.
Oh,
Look at this.
man.
Minish Cap only sold 1.76 million.
Man.
It's a spin-off, private.
It's a spinoff on a tiny little shitty handheld.
Man.
All handheld games are inherently lesser
Yeah,
from almost all.
God damn.
You about to come
That's
up
why I
with-
think. That's
What
why.
the
That's why Mario Kart stands out because those never. I never felt any
I
type
would
of difference.
disagree personally.
Drop
with you
off
for
No,
or anything.
Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart DS was awesome.
It's actually
Yeah.
funny
No,
how
the
Robert
later-
is
no,
the
no,
one
no, no.
defending the
I want to put.
handheld games.
I want
There
to
was only
put.
other
This,
one, Super Circuit, which
I
was,
want to put this. I want to put this
Very
in
much like
context.
Mario
If we were
Kart,
talking,
yeah.
if we're talking about DS and 3DS, sure. You should give me
But before
fucking.
that is Super Circuit.
Super
That's just
Circuit
Super
felt like
Mario Kart, essentially.
felt like
No.
more like a Mario Kart game that I enjoyed than Mario Kart 64. Like I just enjoyed that style more.
I would disagree. Personally.
disagree.
The only
All
thing
kind of
that-
shit all of a
there was a
sudden,
pretty
like,
big-
Honestly, I think Darksiders 2 is not a Darksiders mainline game.
Darksiders 3 is
Just-
borderline.
just-
You can't prove it
conversation.
wrong. You
Just
cannot
a-
prove it wrong.
This is a
Dark
podcast of
Darksiders.
like terrible
Oh,
opinions.
Darksiders 2. I can't prove you wrong. It's Darksiders 2.
Well, I can.
This
Yeah.
is this is like the podcast of like
So
terrible.
let me ask
spin-off
you
opinions.
this.
So no one is right. I wanted to be stated at this
Jesus
point.
Christ.
So
Jeez.
everybody wants to be wrong at
We-
least once.
we had
so bad.
something
Here it is.
I'm just.
So Juice opened his goddamn
I just
mouth
don't
about
like.
Majora's
I
Mask.
just didn't love
Yeah,
Majora's
that's
Mask.
completely on you, Juice. You should have said a goddamn thing.
I can't wait to hear clock to hear that.
God
Yeah,
damn.
They got
Talking
that
about-
game out what 2 years exactly almost.
Oh my god.
What does that have to do with anything? There's nothing.
That's
I knew
why
you shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have even opened your mouth.
That's why it's
God
DLC.
damn. Now
You
we
hoed.
now a rule now
You
part
got
of the
T-
rule is
T
development
over there
cycle.
looking at you like a disappointed father.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. Now
the fuck?
development cycles into it.
That's part of the
I
rule
don't-
now.
Look,
At that point,
was short.
you can't include a lot of games.
Well, he
I'm
burned
sure
it
you can't.
Johnson
Well,
because Juice
you don't
counts
include
like
Link's Awakening, Juice.
look.
You don't include Link's Awakening.
I don't.
Damn.
That's a spinoff to me.
Oh,
Even the
fuck.
story, because
Fuck.
it's just a dream he had. You know, like
This is terrible. This is
Yeah, but
terrible.
it's such an impactful story. It's a
So
really good story.
tell your
That's
tell
how
your,
I've always
tell
felt.
your,
I got
tell your
nothing,
son why
I
the
got
fuck
nothing.
he did all this to you,
Why you
bro.
do that to me?
Minish
You
Cap.
just
They were
apologize
quality
to him.
games.
Passionately
This
fighting
is-
for an hour about this.
They're quality
You didn't
games.
even
I liked
say the
them.
goddamn
I just,
thing.
You
to
just
me,
bend over and drop a Terminator deuce all over our argument.
Alright.
there.
enough.
So here's the Zelda games that I think are, and then the even
Just
the
stop.
best handhelds I think are just a tier down for me. Like
This
So
is
even
so
like
bad.
let me think. Man, I really am trying to think.
But
of
those are
something.
two different things. You didn't like it as much. That doesn't mean it's not
They
a
just don't feel-
mainline game.
I mean, they like I'm not saying they don't.
Like what about Super
They
Mario
don't
Sunshine?
track as
Super Mario
mainline. I
3D
just say
Land?
for me, I don't.
You must like 3D Land better than Sunshine.
I mean,
No.
3D Land's good. I don't know. I don't know
Is
if
it
I
better than
compare it to
Sunshine? Do you
Sunshine.
think it's better than Sunshine? You must. I feel like you must like that better.
Super
than
Mario
Sunshine.
3D Land on the 3DS.
3D Land.
Yeah, but Juice must like it better than
I
Sunshine.
love that shit immensely more than Sunshine.
I-
Way more.
Oh, okay. So you do
I'll
too.
just say,
Okay,
going
so-
back to play it, I was quite shocked at how short the levels are in that game. There's I
Yeah,
played
again,
it
it
a
is
few years ago.
catering to.
Exactly.
It's catering.
So it'd
to
be
what
hard
it-
for me to
the
just
device is
truly
on.
say it's better than Sunshine.
Damn.
I'm
You
saying it.
like
I had
My
way more
problem is
fun
I
than
have no
that.
reason to play 3D Land when 3D World exists. That's my problem.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That is
No, that's
bullshit right there.
they're two different games. They're literally
They're
two
way
different games.
different.
Nah.
They're similar,
literally
but they're
are.
way different.
They're
all the
factually are.
It's just nah.
you got like Robert, the man who like hates handheld gaming, like defending like handheld for his
I will
life.
say
in this
Metroid
podcast,
Fusion
man.
felt like a
I don't
mainline
hate
Metroid
handheld
game.
gaming. I love handheld
Metroid
games. I
Fusion
just
was
don't like
definitely-
playing
Your own logic doesn't make
I'm just
sense.
saying it's
It's
not
a
a
mainline.
every one every time. I'm just saying most of the time.
Well, you made the statement. That's why people.
Most of the
that's why
time,
you
the
was
handhelds to me just feel like a lower
It is a
tier.
mainline Metroid
What
game.
about a
The
Link
elements
Between
and
Worlds?
stories from that
That's
goes
what I'm saying.
into future.
That is
That was
that
only one?
Metroid 2. Those are
The problem is that you're saying that's the exception, not the rule. That's what
Yeah,
you're
Gotcha.
Metroid 2, I mean,
yeah. Those
they made the sequel on the fucking handheld. It is a mainline
What about
game.
Metroid Dread?
yeah.
It's
It's
literally
Metroid
called
5.
Metroid
Handheld.
2, though.
That's Metroid 5. They said it themselves.
That's Metroid 5, yeah. That's a
But,
Metroid.
but so you consider that a mainline,
Mm-hmm.
even though if it's technically a handheld.
So Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
So it's Odyssey.
That's his rule. That ain't mine.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where we're at right now. That's crazy.
Whoa.
Same thing
Whoa.
with same thing with Tears of the Kingdom.
Your
That's
rules
not a
all
handheld.
over the place.
This is what we're
Especially
doing.
out of all these past years, Juice is like it's a handheld. This system is a handheld.
No, I said
So that
Nintendo
means-
views it as a handheld first and foremost. That's different than me saying it's a handheld. From their perspective, I think they view it as a handheld more than anything.
Got you. So you don't view it as a handheld yourself.
I don't play it as a handheld, so I guess I don't.
What do you view it as, sir?
Yeah, that was a weird way of answering the question.
I don't
That
view it
was
as a
weird.
handheld
It's
because I don't
it's
play it as a
supercomputer-powered
handheld.
home console.
I'm saying what Nintendo views it at based on many factors.
Okay, what do you view it as? I want to hear.
I view it as-
the way you fuse that response.
What do you view it as
You made it
yourself?
sound kind of sus, man.
It's
That's all
a
it
Oh,
console
wow.
that I play on my TV. That's how I view it.
Oh yeah, you seem too a little worried about saying that though.
I mean, obviously we've had this
Juice,
argument.
you
It's a hybrid.
you messed up, man. You already backed yourself.
It doesn't matter. I'm just. We're done talking. We
uh,
had our debates. I'm just telling you,
Oh, no,
handhelds to
we're
me,
done.
I always just I have trouble
I
viewing
know.
those.
Robert smells blood in the water, and just
well, listen, T. Is the blood there though?
But yeah, don't
Because
don't
the
pull a
argument is
retro
that
and
it
make an
is.
incorrect statement. I'm gonna correct you.
Because Juice jumped out into the ocean and stabbed himself, and that's why we in this bullshit.
Okay, hold on a second. Look at this. And same story.
Yeah,
in the
there's
chat,
blood in
he's
the
saying
water.
a bunch of different things are side games, Joe. He also says Majora's a side, but it is
You
the
said
best.
Majora's
It's,
Man,
it's a
you
side
lost me.
story.
You lost me. Yeah, it's a side story, but it's a mainline Zelda game.
This is why we shouldn't have done
That's
this.
crazy.
Y'all decided to do this. but
Link's Awakening is a
This is just
a
not
side
the-
story, but it is a mainline Zelda game.
See, this is we can't.
But
That's
it's
crazy.
fucked now.
I
Argument
had
is
it.
fucked.
I fucking had it. This is the dumbest shit.
Is Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles of mainline Resident Evil game?
Of course
No.
not. It's a fucking.
It's got Resident Evil in the title though.
No,
Oh,
but
that's-
again, that's the obviously there's every
We can't-
Because the
wait,
gameplay is
different
different.
companies and different like how like, everyone how
It's
treats
not a
different things.
numbered Resident Evil game, so therefore.
That too, yeah. I mean, that's pretty. Yeah, that makes it.
Okay. I got him. I got him.
What about Code
Yeah.
Veronica?
It's Code Veronica. Thank you. Got him.
I
We're
mean,
back,
bro-
folks. We're back.
What about Metroid or Resident Evil Village? It's not technically 8. It's Village.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it is.
Title.
Yeah, it is. That's
No,
that's
Capcom themselves says it's Village, not 8.
They highlighted the
Yeah, but they
fucking
highlighted.
V
They literally highlighted.
in the goddamn.
Just going by what they said from their own
No,
mouths.
no,
What the hell
no,
out?
because it
What
is
about,
Resident Evil Village, but it is.
They
but
recognize Village as 8.
like they want to market it as called Resident Evil Village, but it's literally
It's
they
8.
just- the
The
title
way
is
they
not
even-
Resident Evil 8 Village. It's Resident Evil Village.
Yeah,
but
they
it's
even
8. It literally has the
that,
highlight.
yeah, that one. There's
So
no
is
about-
God of War Ragnarok a God of War game?
It's a
Yes,
new.
these are different franchises here. You can have different
it's
things
a
for different
new
franchises,
God of War
obviously.
game. It's a part of the.
So,
it's part of the new.
Completely
God of
unrelated,
War.
but I don't know why this is in my feed. Jamie Moran? I don't know how you say it. Moran. Moran.
Moran?
Moran. There you
Moran.
go. Starfold.
Moron.
Listen, I don't know why this is in my
Unfortunate.
feed, but listen. Starfield is not only going to be the biggest RPG this year, but the biggest game to date to launch day one on Xbox Game Pass. A game people will be playing for over a decade.
Well,
Massive
Who's
Xbox.
it? Starfield? She said
who's
Starfield.
that?
I don't know, just
Who's-
Jamie Moran. I don't know why
What
this.
is their title? That name sounds familiar.
It says Jamie Moran UK, YouTube creator covering gaming, sci-fi, and
And what did
Okay.
they? What did it?
Well,
This is
here's
for
the thing.
Starfield.
I hope that's true, but how the hell does he know that?
People have been playing it for decades. That's the part that got me. It's like, I mean,
How did-
I hope you hope.
Jamie Moran.
Yeah, well, like I hope that's the case. I'm excited for it, but how do you know that? Like,
I thought
that's
he was-
what I want to know.
I
I've
misread
seen
it
this
because
guy.
I thought
I've
he
seen
said
this
it was
guy.
going to be
I've
the
seen his
biggest
profile
RPG of
pictures
all
of-
time, but it said this year. I kind of sped read but yeah, I mean, I
Jamie
hope it's a
Moran.
freaking massive, great game. Hopefully.
I've seen this. Yeah,
I
I've
don't
seen
particularly
this,
believe that's the case, but I hope that's the case.
I don't. I mean, well, okay. Well, if you're saying playing for over a decade, you're talking like Skyrim type stuff. I get what you're
Skyrim,
saying.
right. I think it could probably reach that. It could probably reach that.
I
Probably.
think you could. Yeah, I think you could. Actually
Remember
reach
when,
that, to be honest, too.
Bungie said Destiny was going to be a 10-year game? And then
Yeah.
Destiny 2
Yeah.
came out like 4 years
Yeah.
later.
Dude, I remember when Destiny
remember
was
when
coming out. I literally was
Microsoft
like,
said Halo Infinite was going to be a 10-year game.
What about no Too Human?
A 10-year platform. Yeah.
well, I literally said, I remember when Destiny was coming out, I was like, this is definitely a game that I want to be. Years later, I'm like, oh, there's new missions. Let's play some missions like that. Later, did I know that I didn't even. That's not it. I it's literally like a horde mode, to be honest. That whole game. So I did not care for that game at all, to be honest with you.
The main game or just the thing they added?
No, Destiny.
Just
the
Destiny in
game.
general, yeah.
Yeah, Destiny in general.
Yeah, those definitely not my type. So T, did you see the Mario movie yet?
Nope. Going this weekend.
All right, Terrell's
really?
seen it twice.
I've had a
The Sonic fans seen it twice.
tumultuous couple of weeks there, so
So it's gonna cross 1 billion next week, which
Wow,
is
that's
good
crazy.
because I predicted
because it
that.
hasn't opened in Japan yet, has it?
I predicted
Mm,
that when
it's about-
It's about to get
Not-
Japan.
It's
This weekend, I
about. It's
think, this
about. It's
weekend.
about.
This
Yeah, it's
weekend.
about. It's about to.
I
go
should
in.
watch-
Yeah, there's your billion right there because Japan is 200 mil easy.
I should look at Grace Randolph's reaction to the first trailer because I'm pretty sure I left her a comment said it's
Man,
for sure gonna
it's
send
fun
1
watching
billion.
Her squirm. It's so fun watching her squirm.
I
and
almost
backpedal
guarantee you I left a
subsequent
comment saying it's
videos.
gonna do 1 billion. She's like, "Oh, this is not gonna do well." Like, get the fuck out of here! I knew
I
it was
really
gonna
wanted
do.
to see it a second time as well, but literally there was only one screening here in English. I'm so pissed off about it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now everything's
Yeah.
in French, you said?
She's been damaged.
In my area, everything is just always French. There was one screening in English, and I called
You
it.
don't want to watch it in
and
French,
nobody said
man.
no.
You
Nah, I
could
ain't
watch
watching
it.
that shit in French.
Was it the
absolutely not.
teaser? Yeah, it was. The
Gotta do
teaser.
that.
I
Was
wanna-
it like, oh, yo.
I want
I like the
Retro.
voice acting better.
I want Retro to be on some shit. Be like, French is the language of cowards.
Is there English subtitles? Is there English subtitles or is it just French?
I want it in the Beyond so bad.
No, it would just be no. I can understand the French one, but I don't want to listen to it in French.
Well, I don't know if you speak French. I'm not too sure yet.
Well, I mean, I've been living there for like 20 years now. If I don't speak
Hey,
French,
man,
it's pretty
He's
bad.
like, nah, man. I
I've been
wouldn't know.
living- I've been
Retro
living, like,
be
Spanish since I've been alive. I don't know
I
like
don't
an
know
ounce
if
of
Chris
Spanish.
Pratt's allowed to say
You know a
that,
little
but
bit.
that's
You
of
fucking
course one
lied.
of Mario's
No, what's that?
signature lines.
Barely like a few
El
Also,
words.
I saw
baño.
this
What's
floating
an el
around.
baño?
I know that's bathroom.
Okay, then you know a little bit of Spanish. The fuck.
That's exactly a few words. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, that was my point.
But I can only hold up to Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú? That's it. I don't know where else to go with it.
Hey man, what's up? Hey,
Dang,
I'm
I
good.
didn't leave a comment. I for sure I said that it was
You
going to
wanted
a billion.
You wanted that validation so bad, fucker. After that review, I have.
Oh,
no
this isn't
interest.
gonna do well, bitch.
Yeah,
I don't get how do you watch that trailer and think, oh, it's not gonna... Everyone that I know has really enjoyed the film,
people with bad opinions, Robert. That's literally what it is.
and it's just like
Well, I was
it's-
surprised. Donkey, he's kind of in line with what I was saying about. There's not really. It was just kind of
What?
a fun little movie, wasn't?
I mean,
and
that-
he's
I mean,
a
that is
huge
what-
Mario fan.
No,
I was
dude, that
surprised
is
by
what
him.
it
I
is.
thought
I
for
don't
sure he
act
was
like
gonna
it's-
be like.
It's
Disney
a movie
has
that's
so
elevated by
much
the
space with their
care
open IPs.
of the IP. Like that's what it is. It's
But
a
to
fine...
be fair though, he also didn't say it's a mediocre movie. Like he definitely at least enjoyed the movie.
He said
you know
there's
what I
no
mean?
story, and he'll debate anybody that tries
I mean,
to say
people
there
can
is.
say
That's
there's no
fine, but
story.
that doesn't mean it
He
should
said
say
there's
well,
no learning
listen,
moment.
That's
There's
fine.
no
Again, that's
lesson.
not-
There's
again,
no
that's-
heart.
Listen to me.
That's literally
Listen to
not.
me.
That's from.
We
There's
are
a difference
not.
between your.
Yeah, but I don't
your-
understand why people get upset about that. These are just
Listen.
why like.
I was just saying I
there's
was
not a lot of
surprised
story
he
in
said
Mario
that.
I, wanna
games
put,
either.
I just want to put this in
Fight,
context.
fight over that.
This is gonna be a whole nother debate. I don't know if y'all got the hour to waste. That's all I'm about to say.
No, all I'm saying
I'm
is
asking. I'm just letting you know.
it's
I just don't understand why
like-
people get so defensive about it.
Because they want their things to have no flaws. That's the whole argument.
If Juice doesn't have the highest of praise,
The
it's
shit ain't
automatically
perfect.
mediocre.
We can't talk. That's literally how it is.
Yeah, I'm
There
not
can
calling it
still
mediocre.
be a good
I'm just
sticker, a
saying-
good.
I'm just talking about the story and whatnot. I'm not calling
But
it
this is the
mediocre. I haven't
this is
watched.
what I
I haven't seen it
understand,
yet, so my opinion is invalid. So
It's like, I don't understand the idea when people think it has a story. When factually, you cannot deny it has a story. Like, it's literally about Mario and Luigi starting their own business, and then you gotta find his brother, and like Bowser wants to
I
get
think it
somebody's
is bad.
life,
I can't
who's
believe I
going to
got that
defend the
right.
kingdom, and Phil
think
wants
I
to become like a better person. That
No, no.
is, like,
But no, what's
sure,
crazy?
It has a
I don't know
baseline
if I agree
story.
with that
I
last
think what
one,
they're
but okay.
saying.
You can't
I
take
think
that
what people are saying
literally.
is there's not a lot of depth to the story. It has
Well,
a
you know,
baseline.
it's-
I didn't
story.
realize the original movie had the same opening though, with them trying to be plumbers and got sucked into an alternate. Like I didn't know that's how.
Oh, yeah,
I never seen
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
original, and I didn't know that they
Some
started
say
up
you were
kind of
better
the same.
for that.
It's so terrible. Why they copy that story again, huh?
I thought that was funny.
ironically love that movie, man. Like, I don't care. Like, I love that shit.
I'm not gonna say I love it, but it is a guilty pleasure. I like watching it. It's fun to watch.
I don't
It's
know.
not a great
yeah.
Mario movie, but it's a fun
Mario
movie.
Brothers movie.
Yeah,
I'm
they
watching
are.
Grace
Well, no,
just
he
like
just saw the
blink
Super Mario
at
Brothers.
this
I don't know
trailer.
what movies are.
I think it's just called Super Mario Brothers, right?
No, it's the
It's
Super Mario
called the
Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers.
No. The new one is called that. The old one.
Yeah,
is
No, it's called.
Super Mario Brothers is the old
Pretty
one.
vibes too.
I think it said
The
movie.
new one, I
on
think,
the
is also
title.
called the Super Mario Brothers.
No, it's
No,
just
there's
Super
no
Mario
movie in
Brothers.
it. No,
There's
it's just
movie,
Super
it's
Mario
Oh.
Brothers.
That's how they differentiate
That's
it.
probably how
That's how
they.
That's how. That's how.
Yeah,
That's why I say
it might be how it's been
Super Mario
referred to.
Brothers movie.
That's how you can get it, make it different.
The original
So-
is just Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I'm watching. I don't know if the audio's coming through. Actually, I probably get flagged for the
Yeah, you don't
music. I wanted her to hear that. Oh, this will not do well. Like I gotta give her credit. She didn't take it down. She left it up.
No.
But
But she's damage controlling the whole thing. That's what she's doing. It's funny. It's fun to watch.
well, yeah. Now she's probably for the sequel gets announced. She's probably gonna be riding the train of news and
Oh yeah,
reporting.
she's already talking about what spin-off movie, what should be next. She did a whole breakdown
the fuck
video
outta
about
here.
she called it the NCU, the Nintendo Connected Universe. She
Yeah,
called
she
it the NCU. I'm like, wow.
All I saw was the title, and I saw that's what she was doing.
And she
how
was
you talking
like,
about NCU?
By the
And-
way, Terrell, have you ever seen this one?
Parts of it.
Look at
Because
that
it's
cover.
about the love story between Luigi and Daisy. I just want to throw that out there. I'm just saying.
We might have to talk later then.
The original movie.
The original movie, yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember the Daisy stuff.
Daisy,
vaguely.
who's not part of the Super Mario Brothers world, but okay. Daisy.
So Robert
Oh,
Rule
yeah.
2 just learned that people have turned on Breath of the Wild. Where the hell has he been for the last year plus when Elden Ring came out?
Yeah,
Jesus.
unfortunately, there's a lot of that Breath of the Wild. It happens all the time, man.
It
The
happens
hype's
when-
that cool, then
Well, it
you know.
happens when anything big. Anything big.
Yeah,
will
anything
get
big, they do that shit. Like that's
People
nothing.
are
Everything big
envious
will
that
get torn
their
down.
thing that they love is not as big,
You fucking hipsters come in and they start talking that bullshit.
It's,
If something's terrible, then they turn it. It's actually pretty good, like the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
Or Balan Wonderworld.
I don't think that'll happen.
Wait, I think so. Wait, you just wait. You
Yeah.
just wait. Balan Wonderworld is gonna get his love too.
I think so
Like
too.
Sonic
They don't need to
Adventure over the years, people are saying it's good.
Wow.
Sonic Adventure.
He
is
would
good.
love that if Balan Wonderworld all of a sudden gets like hyped. He's
Hell
got an
yeah!
investment
I'm in the
that
money,
shit,
son.
man.
Yeah, bring it on. I'm selling that shit for major bucks. Oh, by the way, Juice, patience is a virtue. The Super Mario 3D All Stars, they're just jumping up now.
Is it?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's going up. It's in the 80s, I think now.
I'm not into
Really?
long-term investing, so I just want to get rid of them.
You know,
Especially when I would go to the stores and half the shelf.
Playing that
I feel
Super
you.
Mario Galaxy on it.
Yeah.
It's quite.
I would say go out there and get yourself, if you can, get yourself a few copies of Metroid Prime Remastered. That's what I would do. That bitch is gonna do.
Yeah,
next.
you know what? That will go up. That's definitely
That's
one
going
that
up.
100% will go up. Because that's not gonna be like a.
And they probably won't
prominent seller
reprint
or
them.
They didn't put it. Yeah, they're not gonna reprint them, and they didn't put a ton of copies out there. So
Yeah, you're not wrong.
go
About
get
that.
them.
That's true.
If you see it, get it.
All right. I think that's it.
I'm trying to find love letters to Balan Wonderworld. I want to see it.
So I don't know if I said this last week.
Hot takes.
I've been playing
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild in portable mode, and I looked at all the Metroid Prime photos I took while I was docked. They look freaking absolutely stunning on the OLED, because obviously it's the higher res, the docked version screenshots. I'm like, that's all I was at. That's all I was saying they should have did with the OLED. Just have it run at the dock side. It looks so freaking amazing. Like I was like, that's the same game I played on my TV. Holy shit! Like, it's just unbelievable how good it looks looking at those dock screenshots.
I just read Grunt's chat. I tried to play Mario 3D also recently. Man, those games feel awful.
What? Yo, that's nuts. I hope you mean maybe with a Joy-Con or something, but
Probably.
No, perfectly fine.
I gotta say, I know
Galaxy feels
that's gonna hurt.
fantastic.
That's gonna hurt. I'm gonna keep
game
digging my
controller.
grave.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
You know how a couple years ago I finally finished Galaxy. I finally got that last frickin'
Yeah.
star with
Yeah.
Luigi, and then I played 2. I found myself getting frustrated by always going in the wrong direction, upside down. I kept, you press one way, if you stop, and then my brain's like, all right, press down to go down, and it would go the opposite way. And I was actually struggling with the momentum and physics of that game compared to Odyssey and 3D World. So I was like, man.
Damn, I don't know. It's second
Sound
nature.
like- sound like Boomer problem.
It's not like I got, I can pick up an older game and usually this feels great. I was just struggling a bit. I was not like,
Really?
Hashtag skill issue.
it kind of dropped it for me a little
I
bit.
can't help you with that one. I can't help you with that one. That shit was second nature to me. I love
I
guys.
always kind of
playing
struggle with that,
man,
but
and
I was just like, yeah, I don't this isn't even a question anymore what my favorite 3D Mario game is, like, because I was still
3D
kind of
World?
teeter-tottering, but I'd probably put Odyssey second, and then maybe Galaxy 2 third. Probably
maybe.
What's one?
What's
3D
maybe?
World for me, because
3D World?
every time I play that game, I'm just like, God, I just love it.
Wait, what's maybe then?
It is fantastic.
I was just
You
thinking
said-
1 or 2. I'm pretty sure 2.
It's hard for me. I guess it's
Oh.
hard to put them in order.
It is very hard to be honest.
That's
I like-
tough.
Those
like-
specifically 3D ones is like Galaxy 1, Sunshine. I don't give a shit. I hate you guys. And then 3D World probably.
I think
What's
the
after that?
thing that
What's
puts
after that?
Galaxy 2 ahead of 1 is the lack of the annoying big hub world that I hated trying to figure out. Oh, I got to move the stupid comet. I got to feed them the star bits to try to move the comet. And oh wait, it's not in the right spot. I got to go back down, feed them the comet.
No, I
feed them
think I
star
gotta
bits.
give it 2 just because like, and maybe it's because I played through 1 so many times, but just the level design in 2 just
I think
feels
2
even
took
more
it.
refined.
I have to
There's
put
more
1 ahead of 2.
levels.
I go back and forth. I love 2, but I have to put 1 ahead of it because Koizumi snuck some story in that bitch. It's stuck. So I have to give it the 1 up.
And
for that.
Rosalina.
That's what I always say.
Man,
That's some heartbreaking shit, man.
Because you didn't even
Rosalina
finish
story.
the damn game. Please finish this damn game already. Super Mario Galaxy 2. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Who hasn't finished it?
Retro.
He didn't even know there was like
a fucking game.
He didn't know like every level had twice as many stars as he thought. Like
What? Bro?
I'm like halfway through the game.
I know
near the
you
end,
like
think,
1
somewhere and
more,
shit.
Like,
but
the game for 13
Robert
years.
wants me to finish it because nothing is going to change. That it doesn't
Why do
have
you
a
think that,
story.
bro? You're gonna see more.
There's so
galaxies,
many good
more level
levels. It's
designs,
got
more
twice as
different
many
stories.
levels.
It has incredible levels. 100%.
Twice as many
incredible
levels as
Twice as many
I'm
levels.
never saying that Galaxy 2 sucks. It's a fucking amazing game. I just prefer Galaxy
Bro,
1.
it's so amazing. Just play more. I want to hear you.
Yeah, why wouldn't you
experience-
finish a
I wanna
game
see you
that's
experience
amazing?
these other levels.
I think you prefer it because you haven't finished 2. Like you didn't finish it around the time.
You didn't do
when
the you didn't fight Bowser or
The
anything?
I've said this 100 times. The main reason I love Galaxy 1 is why Juice hates Galaxy 1. I like that silent overworld observatory thing with Rosalina's story in it. And no matter what you say, 2 is not going to have that.
Oh
2
my
has a
god!
stupid
I'm
face
telling you,
ship.
I'm telling
It
you.
just
you
has so much
fucking
more
face
gameplay.
ship.
and the spaceship still gets more NPCs on there the more you play.
Because I even always said the cloud power up from Galaxy 2 is my favorite Mario power up of all time. 100%. I know that game is fucking art. I'm
And
not
guess
saying
what?
it's
In
not.
the very, very last level, you could play as the cloud. You could experience more of that cloud of greatness.
Oh my god, 12 feet tall. You haven't done what?
That Bowser, the final Bowser fight, the
Final Bowser fight is badass. The very last
Oh my God.
Grandmaster
Oh.
Galaxy is.
Did you even get
tough
to
as shit.
the
Amazing.
retro Galaxy? I forget what it was called, where you played the Mario 64.
Throwback Galaxy.
Throwback Galaxy.
Throwback Galaxy, yeah. That shit is
Bro,
I've
telling
gone
you.
on that one. Yeah,
Tell you the way they had
Retro
it,
was like, I love feeding this guy Starbits to move the comet, and then he goes all the way to the top. Oh, good, I get to go back and feed him more Starbits because the comet's not there yet.
I mean, in Galaxy 2, you got
I
to
love
feed
it.
this bitch on the ship too.
Not multiple times, and then
Yeah.
go all the way up
fucking time.
to go all the way up to figure out if the level, if the comet's in the right spot or not. Like,
I'm surprised you can even play Galaxy 2. That you can walk around on the spaceship normally without losing your way because the direction input doesn't work anymore in your brain.
they didn't. That 2 didn't quite go all in as much with the upside down. I feel like maybe I'm remembering wrong.
No, I actually feel like they went even more with it. You gotta
Yeah. Like the glow, like walking around cylinders. And
Imagine,
stuff.
remember like
Super Mario
yeah, like
3.
Spin
Go-
Dig would have a lot of like when you have the drill, you're going around like all those like there's a lot of like there's a lot.
I don't know.
Of those
I felt better playing 2 than 1 as far
well,
as
they probably just refined it to be fair.
could be. It is one of those games though where you, like, even with the Morph Ball Metroid Prime, you can be holding down and it'll go to it'll go up, but if you stop and press down, then it goes back down. And I feel like it's the way you're holding it until you let go, and then that always kind of tripped me up.
Well, that's why look retro. I don't know when's the last time you played. I'm sure it's been like 4 years ago.
Up there.
Okay, it was probably up there 5 years ago, but like the whole thing is like
All right, let's
Anything-
get out of here.
I would love to hear your thoughts on the newer Galaxy.
Well, he could review it after the first level, so. You know.
Oh, that's
I
right.
do like your Game Awards. Like 10 years ago.
so much
I'm like near the end of the game already. Like I'm way like near the end.
Are you sure?
Like world.
Do
Like
you count the end of the game in Galaxy 1 when you have 60 stars and you can beat the game? You count that close
That
to
is
the
the
end?
end. It's literally the end. But I would recommend playing more. But
Yeah, you got 100% Galaxy. You got 100% them shits. There's too much goodness in there.
I'm telling you.
All right, we're gonna
and
get out of here
especially
though.
Retro, for
We'll
you,
be back.
there's so
We'll be
much
back
more
next week.
like
See you guys.
there's more like the green
I'm going
stars
all
and
the
stuff.
way with it. Don't worry.